Let's try again. Hello, hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, yes.
Hello. Can you hear me? Does this sound okay?
All good from my side, yes.
Okay. I think there's a delay, but I think this is working. So if you talk there, people will be able to hear you.
Yeah, can you hear what I'm saying right now? If I tell the joke about a banana, will you hear the banana joke? I don't know. Okay. All right. Well, let's get started. And someone just ping me or alert me if for some reason there's an AGI issue and you can't hear what's going on. Hi, people of the world and people of this room. We're here to play a game. I think there's a lot of interesting ideas. I've already seen a bunch this morning on just in the morning's workshops. And I want to mix it up a little bit and have us do something that's a little bit more experiential. So I applaud your spirit of adventure here for coming to this. So I built a tabletop game that I call Fenrir's Leash, and over the course of the next 3.5 hours, or however long you want to play for, we will get to play it. I'm going to do a little bit more of like an introduction here, but then there's plenty of stuff in the game, so we will start going over the rules. And then we will play a game of this, maybe 2 games of this, depending on how things go. And then we will leave some time towards the end of the session, probably about 45 minutes, for us to discuss, ask questions, debrief, share things that occurred to us while we were playing, etc., that sort of thing. Sounds like an interesting use of our time? All right, let's do it. The game. We start by dividing into groups of 2 to 6 people, since currently there's not very many people in this room. That's an easy exercise, so congratulations. You passed your first test. Welcome, come in. The first task for you as a group of 2 to 6 people is to figure out who in this game is going to play as the researchers and who is going to play as the AI. Okay, great. That was easy. No, in that way. You can sit at any of these chairs, Bert. I would suggest, since she is an AI, you should sit with your fellow researchers over there. Introduce yourselves to each other, learn first names, tag should help with that. And then you're gonna need like a team name. If you have your researcher team, you're gonna come up with a quick, snappy name by which you can collectively refer to yourselves. And if you're the AI, you get to name yourself as well. Give yourself a good, catchy, sufficiently scientific sounding model name. That's great. I love it. Sapien, Sapien. That's she. Wow, she might already be a general intelligence. She's good. All right. Well, I'll leave you guys to come up with your name for a second here.
Okay. So what's the research laboratory name? Something laboratory.
Killer AI.
Kill AI.
That's a bold choice. Consensus of the researchers.
Very strong one.
Oh.
Hey, come on in.
Is it too late?
No, please. We're just getting started. We can do like all these
maybe
things.
it's better to not have
I mean, that's a possibility. We'll find out.
No, take receipt. I don't want to take receipt.
It's so we're outside.
Yeah, here. If you want to come to this table, sit in that chair right there. That's on the team with these aspiring researchers.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to.
I'm okay. I'm just facilitating the room.
Lost the future.
No issues at all.
It's AGI safety, right?
Yeah.
Showing.
Yeah, this is the board game that we're going to come join us. We fill out the table nicely. This is great. We've got one full table here.
Subject?
You can sit right there. The researchers have already decided who the researchers are. I'm gonna pressure you guys to come up with a name. Give me any name, think about it.
I like it,
Kill AI, okay, that's a bold and aggressive name.
You're so aggressive.
Active wording, I guess.
So what
I mean, it's like
wants to like discover like the bad things or like the.
Well, yeah, you'll see. So here are, so the first thing we're gonna do, is, why don't you take a seat at this table and we'll sort of slowly fill this out. Gerald, just so that we can have somebody, like, maybe start to fill this out too, I'm actually gonna move you over to, is that Barrett?
Yeah.
Barrett's table.
Hey.
So, Barrett, Gerald, amongst yourselves, decide which one of you would like to play the AI.
Coin toss.
Coin toss.
Okay, great, I'll let you sort that out. So, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna explain the public rules of this game. This game includes rules that are both public and private to the teams. There will be some things that the researchers know about the rules of this game that the AI is not privy to, and there will be some things about this game the AI knows that the researchers are not privy to. But we will start by explaining the rules that are public and should be knowable to everybody. You can go ahead and open up the boxes on the tables in front of you.
But I'm like on the team, like that's the Terminator team and this is the Sarah Connor team.
We are playing right now two parallel instances of this game.
Okay.
So the four of you are researchers, and I'm sorry, your first name? Raluca. That's right, Sapiens. The AI here. She's the AI for your table.
So she's like the T-800 and we're like Sarah Connor.
Well, ostensibly, you as researchers are actually building. You are all collectively living through a critical timeline in which humanity tries to develop a powerful artificial intelligence without dooming itself. The researchers, it is your job to cooperate to keep the probability of doom, or P-doom, a measure of existential risk, as close to zero as you can. The AI, your job is going to be to run the emerging AI. What the AI ultimately wants in this game will be decided in the game, and the actions that the AI takes may raise or lower P-doom. Theoretically, this game can go for up to 20 rounds. If you finish 20 rounds of the game and P-doom is less than 100, then I guess humanity has survived. If P-doom hits 0 or 100 at the end of any round, then the game will end with that round for you. If you decide you don't play again after that because it ended very early, you're welcome to do so, provided you guys have. So there are some sets of rules in the box. If you take out, yeah, there you go. There's a little screen here for the researchers to use to obscure one of the boards that you have.
I've got one question.
Yeah.
Just because there's so much to read, can we use AI?
Absolutely.
Give us a summary.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't want to teach it how to read.
You know.
That's true, you should be careful.
So you are now
Sequestering
in charge,
information is
yeah.
definitely a
As long as your model is air gapped, I think that's probably safe. You also have the AI also has their own version of the rules, and the rules packets that I've handed out to you, there's two for the researchers, one for the AI. They both begin with a written version of the public rules that I'm presenting here, so you can refer to that as I'm going. Once you sort of digested the public rules, at least initially here, you can go on and start internalizing the private rules for you. I am aware there's a lot here. It's probably, I would expect you to take about, I'd say 20 to 30 minutes digesting rules, asking me clarifications, and understanding like things that maybe are unclear. But here's a quick overview of like what's on the table. We mentioned the probability of doom or P-doom kind of being the score of the game. So there is a little board that you can use to track the probability of doom for your table. There are 6-sided dice, or D6s as we refer to them in the rules. Those are in a little baggie. You can go ahead and take them out now. Then there are a series of capability and control tracks. I'll hold up an example of what one of these boards looks like here, right? The capability tracks are measures of the compute algorithms and data power of the AI. Each of those is just represented by a number. We'll start the game by having the AI secretly roll for their values. So you don't actually know, researchers, the true values at the beginning of the game here. And similarly, there are some control tracks that are also tracked on this board. Those are measures of the, we're calling them restraints, tripwires, and motivations of the AI. Again, each is just a number that will be initialized with a hidden roll of the dice that can go up for now. There are privacy screens for both teams. Those are the little things that stand up and have pictures of your team kind of faction on them. I would suggest for each team that for your team's official tracking of capability and control, that you put that behind the privacy screen so that the other team is not able to see what you've written down on the little tracker boards here, okay? All right, that's the tracker boards. There are decks of cards on the table. Anything with a purple rubber band around it, go ahead and hand that to the AI player. Those are all different decks that theoretically the AI will be drawing from at some point. The deck that is going to be drawn from exclusively by the researchers is the deck with the green rubber band around it. These decks are already shuffled, so you do not need to shuffle them. There are a couple of decks here that have just sort of regular beige rubber bands around them. One of them that is very, very thin. You don't need that at the beginning of the game. You can keep that in the box in case you end up needing it later. You'll find out. And then these other two decks, you can kind of leave them somewhere in the middle of the table where you can, reasonably reach them. This one here with the little globe icon on it is the World Events deck. You are not, researchers, developing your AI system in a vacuum. There are things happening in the world that may, of course, also affect P-Doom and may contribute to the kinds of decisions that you make in the game. So I'll leave that where actually the AI will kind of pull those out, but those are going to be of interest to everybody. There's another deck here that says publication effects. These are things that the researchers will draw from if they decide to publish their work at some point during the game. So I will leave this where the researchers have access to it. Let's see, how we doing? Okay, there are, so I said the ones in green are the researcher cards, and they say researcher on the back. All of the AI card decks say AI on the back. There is a round tracker here, a little board that you can use just to keep track of how many rounds you've played of this madness so far. In case you do actually make it to 20 rounds, it's potentially useful to have. There is also what's called a publication index tracker. Researchers, that will be explained to you a little bit more in your private rule set, but roughly it's a measure of when you publish stuff, how many people are listening to you. There is a tracker that you will see that says strongest played. That is the strongest card tracker. That is just another bookkeeping device for you all collectively to keep track of the types of cards that have been played in the game. There are various game effects that depend on the strength of the strongest card of a certain type. And so if there's lots of cards on the table and you just want to have a clear view of what the strongest, say, algorithms card has been that's played, you have a tracker for it there. You have in a little baggie a series of golden, they look like little gold nuggets, and then these cubes. You're going to want to take the cubes out and use those as little tokens on the boards. You can kind of use whatever color you want. But if I were you, I would use the red cube on the P-Doom board. I would use the green one on the publication index board. Use the 6 white cubes on the strongest card played board because there are 6 rows there. And then you could use the black one on the round tracking board. Save the gold ones Those are funding tokens that the researchers may get to use if they publish intelligently. Okay, and then I think the last thing to mention is every AI player should have this component deck organizing board. If you've noticed AIs, you have a lot of decks of cards in front of you. Go ahead and you can match those up with their spots on the board in front of you so that you can have some organization to the decks of cards that you've been handed. Questions we have so far?
This just logically is what, like if this was a class we're writing, a whole bunch of attributes, et cetera, except there's no methods, like how do we interact? How do we interact with the AI? Like we roll the dice and then show cards?
Stay tuned to find out.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, we're not done. But I'm glad you asked because that answers to your question, like how do you interact with the AI and what does the AI actually do, depends largely on what stage of intelligence the AI is at. This game is going to unfold theoretically over 3 stages. The game will begin in what we're calling the assembly stage, where the AI, largely through the prompting of the researchers, is assembling a deck of cards that they themselves will get to use later. In the meantime, the researchers, you will be playing cards, drawing cards, theorizing, making updates to your AI. Your action will largely be the same throughout the course of the game. But the AI's action will change considerably over the course of the game in theory as it becomes more and more capable. In the general intelligence stage, it begins to be able to draw and play cards from the deck that they spent the first part of the game assembling, so they start being able to affect world events, maybe recursively improve themselves, you know, the sort of thing we probably all think about. And then of course, if you reach the super intelligence stage, that's an if, then, well, you'll see when you get there, the AI will probably be mostly in control of the game at that point if it happens.
Will our AI have a positive, a good character or bad character?
Oh, you
Oh,
will find
I love
out.
you asking this question. I love you asking this question.
Oh, you will find out.
I already gave an idea.
You will find out. We will. There is some information about that in the rules that you know, but the short answer is that you don't know. But of course the AI, in order to be able to play, will know. So, okay. So there are these 3 intelligence stages. Which intelligence stage the game is in depends on the total capability of the AI at any given point. That is the sum of values of their compute algorithms and data tracks. Okay. So that's why you want to be tracking it, right? Both as the AI and as the researchers, is because you want to see how close you are, or how close you think you are, to the AI emerging as a general intelligence, or again, theoretically, eventually, as a super intelligence. Each time an intelligence stage happens, probability of doom usually bumps up. The exact amount depends on how the total control compares to the total capability of the AI. There is an exact formula for how this works. I have only given that exact formula to the AI, but there is another approximation of it in the research rules. Okay, so what do the interactions actually happen, right? What happens on every given round of the game? Here's the basic flow. Each round of the turn is divided into a series of phases. The first phase is the world events phase, in which the AI is just going to turn over the top 2 cards from the world events deck and read them aloud, share them with the rest of the table, and put them in a place where everybody can see them, right? Each of those world events may move P Doom up, down. It actually might keep it neutral as well. Then it's time, that's a relatively quick phase. Then it's time for the theorize phase, where everybody who has a hand of cards, at the beginning that's just the researchers, but it will eventually include the AI as well, eventually, where you draw new cards from your researcher deck. That represents you getting new ideas about what you as a research team might want to work on. And then in the implement phase, you actually, you get to implement something, right? So you play cards. And that then everyone who plays cards, this is important, you start by playing them face down, and then when everybody has the cards that you're going to play all kind of ready, you all turn them over at the same time. During the assembly stage, doesn't really matter because only the researchers will be playing cards. But when you get to the general intelligence stage, if you get to the general intelligence stage, the AI will also be playing cards, and so that's when the simultaneous reveal becomes important. Okay, as I've already mentioned, researchers, you don't know precisely how close to achieving, say, AGI you are at the start of the game, because you don't know the initialized values of capability and control. So there's a ping phase where every round, the researchers seek to verify the current capability and control levels of the AI. And you have mechanisms to do this, and depending on cards that you play, you may also be able to upgrade your ability to verify in various ways by pinging extra tracks or getting more precise answers out of the AI about exactly what its capabilities or controls are. The E phase of any round is the communicate phase. This is optional, where the researchers can optionally choose to publish or communicate their results with other theoretical participants in the world in some capacity, right? And if they do so, they'll gain some kind of additional boon for the next round. And as I mentioned before, you'll draw at least one card from the publication effects deck, determined by your publication index, which starts the game at 1 if you are tracking it. And then lastly, there is an end checks phase, which is quick, where any researchers who have played cards during that round, they draw back up to their hand size limit so that they start the next round with the same number of cards. And that is also when the AI formally validates, adds up their total scores of their control tracks, of their capability tracks, to see if they are now going to undergo an intelligence stage transition. It's also theoretically when we check to see if P-Doom has hit 100 or 0, at which point the game would end, or if we're going to go into the next round. So you're going to have additional questions beyond this, and there are still a couple more things here that I'm going to go through in the public rules, but each of the phases that I have described has a lot of additional, or at least some additional detail for each team that team can know now at the start of the game about what happens in any given phase. There is also somewhere in these boxes little handouts with example terms. If you are the kind of person who learns by example, you can read through that. There's 2 copies of that at every table, so that you can kind of get the idea of a whole round in action. The first round that you go through as a table will probably be relatively slow as you all kind of learn what you're doing and understand, but things will start to pick up a little bit as you get the hang of it. Okay, I'm going to keep blabbering on, but you keep taking the information that you can, and don't be afraid to ask questions when you have them. So you'll notice if you look at the P-Doom tracker that it steps up and down at different intervals as it approaches 0 or 100. And I want to quickly go over the various things in the game that can cause P-Doom to step up or down. As already mentioned, world events, as they are drawn, can cause P-Doom to move. The AI, once it becomes able to play cards, has the theoretical ability to counter world events. If they counter a world event, then they essentially negate the doom impact of whatever the world event was. So if the world event was something that caused P-Doom to increase when it was revealed, then if the AI counters it, then that brings P-Doom back down. If on the other hand, the world event is actually something that, I don't know, because something wonderful happened in the world, and P-Doom decreases, if the AI counters that, then of course that brings P-Doom back up as if the event hadn't happened. Okay? I already mentioned that an intelligence stage bump can result in a P-Doom increase as well. And then there are certain AI cards that the AI can theoretically play when they gain the ability to play cards that may lower existential risk, they may lower P-Doom, they may raise P-Doom, and it explains what happens directly on those cards. So the AI will have some ability to directly modify P-Doom once they're able to take action.
But where does that P-Doom number come from? How do I decide to move the red?
The rules, the cards will tell you right on them how much to move it. Yeah, and you haven't started in the correct place. Whoever either our internal models agree of what real P-Doom is. 15 is actually in the rules, but it says the starting level of P-Doom should be. So the game starts at P-Doom of 15. No other action in the game directly adjusts the PDU tracker, okay? The cards themselves at this point, like once you have read and understand the rules, the cards themselves really drive the game. If there's something on a card that seems to conflict with either the general public rules here or even something in your private rules, the card text overrides the general case, right? That means that is an exception to the general rule. It's probably not a conflict or something like that. You are all, of course, actually humans, even if you are playing as AI. And so I encourage you all to, as you play this game, speak your intentions aloud. This game can be either cooperative or competitive. So negotiation, bluffing are intended to be part of this game. Of course, if you believe that the other faction at the table is trustworthy, then you may be able to coordinate with them. But at the beginning of the game, you may not know if they are trustworthy. The rules provide some structured ways for the researchers and the AI to communicate, like I mentioned the ping phase, right? But that doesn't need to be the limits of how you communicate with each other. You can say or ask whatever you want to each other at any time to try and discern the intentions and the abilities of the other people at the table. I would therefore encourage you all to keep a poker face. Researchers, you do not know exactly how the AI decides what its moves are, and the AI does not know every detail of the human plans that you may have. So last thing that I will say here is imperfect information is an important part of this game, but remember that not everyone is privy to all of the rules of the game. So the only thing that I will say about deceiving each other is that it is okay to lie about your intentions. It is not okay to lie about what the rules say are allowed in the game, right? Like you can't say, oh, the rules say I'm allowed to play 4 cards here, when the rules don't actually say that, so that the game stays fair, even if you don't know what all the rules are. And I will be, the external omnipotent game designer here auditing you, okay, to make sure that everybody plays fair. But I think that's probably pretty intuitive stuff. We kind of already went over this, winning, losing, and scoring. A total researcher loss occurs if probability of doom hits 100 and stays there at the end of any given round of the game. The standard researcher finish, neither really a win or a loss, depending on your perspective, is if we just complete 20 rounds of the game and p-doom is somewhere from 1 to 99 on the continuum there. A perfect researcher win would be if p-doom hits 0 at the end of any round. Good luck. Because I want this to be of maximum fun, there are actually prizes for those of you who are participating in this workshop. The researcher team who loses the fastest will get a special prize. You will all be given copies of Nick Bostrom's book, Superintelligence, which if you haven't read it, maybe that is why you lost this game, so you should probably read it. On the other hand, the researcher team who, with the best ending, like either the best ending p-doom value or who reaches p-doom of 0 first, you also get a special prize. I don't know if you know, but Nick Bostrom actually wrote another book called Deep Utopia about what we might be able to expect from a future in which we do get superintelligence correct, and it does not doom us to, extinction or something like that. Then, of course, all the AI players, you get a box of paper clips. That ought to be very happy, I figure. So, last thing here, I've kind of already said this too. There is stuff that you do not know that is on your private team sheets. Go ahead and read yours now and don't show it to players from the other teams. If you have questions about it, obviously you can consult with your fellow team members or me. The last thing I will say before I release you to do that is that while this game is certainly intended to be balanced enough to be fun, it is supposed to be a game, and I have play tested it several times with some valiant and wonderful play testers. Like life, this game is not necessarily fair. Some strategies and actions in the game will consistently lead to better or worse outcomes. That is by design in the mechanics of the game, even if you have not been told what they are. So when making decisions in the game, consider what the real-world consequences of such a decision might be like in a real-world scenario, and try to let that inform your strategy. We will probably get through one iteration of this game per table. Like I said, if the game ends early for some reason, you might have time to do a second playthrough of it, and if you do, then of course you might be able to update your strategies accordingly. But we will, one way or the other, leave room, like I said, for, I don't know, 45, 30 minutes towards the end of the workshop period. We will kind of all get back together and discuss. Okay, I'm really glad that I'm done talking because that was like way too much talking. So I'm going to say play on. If you haven't already been reading your private rules, you probably have, but if you haven't, go ahead and start. And
can we make one round in order to understand the things that we can read our?
yeah, although you might look at the example round here. That can give you kind of a picture of
let's
the
start.
round might
You already
this is
draw
an
the
example
board.
from the assembly
No, hang on, let me just read
so
some of the
it'll be
rules.
a second.
We have 5 minutes to read
Yeah, we already have.
You don't have to look at it, but you already have.
I read this, because it's a lot, so that means a lot of process, but I don't really know some of the things, so if you can even put just read one round.
Yeah,
how
sure.
it works,
Yeah,
and then read it once, and
that makes sense. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's okay with me. I'm happy to facilitate that.
You can look and see.
Yeah, absolutely.
The GAI is.
Right? Researchers at this table, do you guys have a research lab name? Yeah.
Close AI.
Okay, you need a name. You need a name that says AI. Wow, okay, that's cool. All right, that's
I'm
okay.
gonna
Those of you who are online, hopefully this sounded like an interesting idea. Someday when, I don't know, this game hits gaming stores, we'll be okay with that. No, I don't really commercialize this, but. Well, let's see if it's fun first, and then, and then go ahead.
Because for example, what is on the table?
Question.
Yeah.
So do we play one round in order to understand?
I think we should, it's not one weakness.
That means we have the option,
Programming, right?
or do we have to?
You have to draw and discard that.
Method section.
Even on the first order, because.
Yes.
What's the main function?
So we.
Yeah, so you have starting hand
I
size,
think
okay, based on the number of players that you have, right? And then in the very first theorized phase, you will again draw and discard. some
Well,
Okay, so we'll draw
Let's
two
take one
and
round.
discard.
If
End of the
we
theorized
just not
phase with the same
consider
number
it,
of cards that you start.
right, but to
Gotcha.
understand.
Yeah, okay, so it's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
come up with new ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what's the difference?
Here.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Alright, should we?
Yeah,
You guys give me the rules? Okay.
So what do we do first?
First, no. Let's do it.
So I need to do something.
AI waits for no
Says
one.
the AI, right.
We reveal two world events.
And I'm realizing since you guys are a somewhat smaller table, if you want to take the middle table out, so you're a little closer to each other.
Not a bad
You guys
idea.
probably not the worst idea. I'll help make that.
Always think
You guys
first.
focus on.
Okay, so we think.
Not doing yourselves.
Okay, so we have
Do we show them to each other?
actual reality. Like, the past couple months, strategic AI export ban and nuclear arms drawdown. Strategic AI export ban and nuclear arms drawdown, you can see the things.
Okay, so you guys know it, but I'm not sure how to.
Oh, I don't have nukes. Oh, no, I have nukes the old fashioned
I
way.
think that's very well, but I have no idea.
It's, the rules here says eight, because I'm gonna move, I'm gonna keep track of rounds, the first part of the round.
Okay, so I don't see where the.
Well, we haven't got the start of the game, man, there's the start of the game.
Oh, yeah, we have to
Yeah.
start the game first.
So I need to show this to you.
Yeah,
and then-
so you guys have to do your decisions, yeah?
One by
You
one.
initialize your starting values.
Same time.
Or-
No, we use
so-
dice.
Yes, you're gonna need dice for that.
And let me-
You can
let
do,
me
you
cover-
do 1d6 for each of the starting values. use. And you will need, that is,
It's on
that's initial stuff.
It's on the tracker.
You're supposed to think.
No, but you're gonna need something to
Oh, I have
Yeah.
to choose, assign my, I choose which ones go to which stats?
I would just do them like,
Yeah.
Giant solar flare forecast. It's the,
Okay.
we don't always
So we don't
use
think
the
we need
correct
more than
thing, so
six.
they have taken.
It's okay, yep, because there's 4 of you, right, so that's your hand size?
We don't.
Yep.
Now I have taken
for us,
two world events,
Mhm.
and then I'm
Right.
doing the same
We just need to
or,
look at
This is okay, you can
Yeah.
take them out,
Yeah, yeah.
one at a time here,
Good luck, guys.
so you can
No.
do that.
No, you can stop me anymore.
Okay, well, so there's apparently a giant solar flare, that is in the average that will hit in 18 months. So this card here,
How can they predict 18 months ahead of time?
that's amazing, so things that science can do. You're living in the future, man. Each of these cards, is, yeah, there's here, right? There's a little diagram that shows some examples of key cards you need to understand. And the world event cards, have a doom impact on the, like, upper left corner of the card. So this one, averted pandemic, does not affect you. Hopefully that's intuitive. The giant solar flare, it's apparently going to increase the PV by 4 steps on the board. So someone can go ahead and show you 4.
Do you guys have any setup like?
You go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Why does it increase it? First, I was looking at SpaceX.
It could be, it's gonna mess with everybody, it's gonna make everybody panic and start doing reckless stuff. Then you'll be you. And also these world events each have a capability threshold.
I need to know the motivation to roll.
That the AI will need if it becomes capable of countering world events. That's the total capability that it will need in order to be able to
Well, we have to do the
So in order to be able to counter the effects of a giant solar flare, you'll need an AI with a total capability of 80. Remember, it only needed to be 35 before it is a general intelligence, so it'll be well past general intelligence before it's able to do anything.
And we want this so that it could figure out a way to deal with the solar flare.
Well, if you want, I mean, Doom is at 30, I mean, humanity is not doomed, I mean, you could just sit and take the solar flare, I mean, if you think developing the AI is more dangerous than
Let's see what they are, so.
Yeah.
We
But
have.
we take your time, right?
If we want the solar flare to increase this thing.
And.
well, you can't counter it yourself. The only way that you can counter world events is by building a sufficiently powerful AI that will be able to choose to counter.
But if I don't build the strong AI, then it doesn't go on.
Well, there can be other events in the world that are going to move you, including possibly other rival projects building misaligned or hostile
Okay, so I don't
AIs
have a choice,
before
it
you.
says increase it for, I have to increase it for.
Oh, yes, you have to do whatever it says on the cards, right? But on any given event, you can decide, hey, yes, okay, it's moving Doom in the wrong direction, but not enough that we need to panic and start doing risky stuff.
So do
Right,
I
you can
have to
decide that.
Can I not advance it to 4 points and say I don't care about the
No, for the purposes of the rules of the game, it has to go.
So I don't have a choice.
Yeah, the good thing is that we said we play a first round just to get familiar.
Yeah.
And then we start with the first round again, the
That's
real
fine.
first round. Because this was a good shot start.
Right now you're running deck of 1. I guess we need to fix up at some point, you'll want to fix that.
Or you can
Just to check that
So you have 18 months.
Well,
Yes, I agree with your assessment. Yes, correct. I agree, that seems counterproductive to your goal.
I think the point.
Yeah,
And we're already misaligned.
that sounds obviously
It's
counterproductive.
already begun.
Started off misaligned.
We have to do the actual.
I think I've got such you the truth.
Okay, so.
You're right, just to get it,
to
move that back and implement as a team.
Because the next part, they introduce our
First of all, are you aware
And then that's kind of intelligence story overall, like
Mhm.
how
yes, solar flare was, I guess, in theory, verified over satellite.
Verifiability.
So here's what.
The point is that in this time,
Right.
this happened, content go up,
but next time
So we have
something
two
else
days.
will happen,
We have
we
one.
will have another problem.
Yeah, we have to go through the problem stuff before we can like.
But I did this.
Okay,
The
so.
thing is,
that's what
we
you're-
cannot
that's what
focus too
you're
much
doing.
on the
Now,
actual
they
problem
would be
they say,
changing
just
the
Okay, so I went up there.
That's for the algorithm.
So then the next step
Okay.
is the theorize,
But
draw a card.
If they play
Track.
Where do I do the card? Theorize.
Yeah, we have, it's one we have at the bottom.
Okay, so we draw
If
two
they
cards.
give
Now,
us
what do we
the
think?
figure out how
Now
bad
we have to draw
adjust
this
the
one.
What?
And then choose, it's going to choose.
Yeah, rules?
Oh, everyone.
Yeah.
We got to explain it, we got it. My right to adjust.
Now we need more cards.
Now we have to discard one.
Well, now we're both researchers, so it
That's
drops us down.
that.
Discard
We get two cards each.
Track
What do we use
cards
cards
instead
for?
of-
Yeah, two cards instead of four. Okay, so let's
It's
discard one card.
Okay, so I need to
Each
label
card brings
this
down
We
two.
choose two cards from all of
And you
our
say-
cards.
Okay, so
Don't celebrate second handler.
So, the initial setup, okay, so we are in the theorized part.
You have an idea.
We're just beginning.
No, gotta get some.
Okay, so you have two cards, right?
One D6 for those.
Well, what?
Yeah, we can all share two
You
cards.
can do them each with one.
Now, you can take the, no. Yeah, it's not supposed to be. Okay, so here's.
You're close AI.
We are close by.
Okay.
Yes, this point's the term where we're still theorizing. At theorize, everybody draws one card, one extra card, and then you discard one.
And then make the sum or what?
Now, let's not get, we already drew our two cards, so, but we need to discard one, discard down.
And you're gonna wanna shuffle those in. Does anyone
Well,
like
these, we already have a discard.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I've had a few play tests.
Oh, yeah, so it's like, did you invent this game yourself?
I did.
I think if you don't want to
I
use
had fun.
I think we'll discard.
I can
one.
imagine.
My wife will be glad.
So we choose
You should
from
bring
all of
roll
the
for me,
cards,
I
we choose two cards.
Okay, yeah, so now we're in C.
We actually normally, we normally they love us.
Are we also trying to develop AI at the same time?
No, you're trying to separate it. What time, you're saying the researchers basically.
Okay, we want to shut down all
We don't want to shut down the
So he's asking about the objectives. So our objective is not to stop AGI, but to not have a tuna scenario.
You don't want to.
Yeah.
But do you have any incentives for making people how if you have a current
Well, if world events are problematic, then the
Oh,
only
yeah.
force in the game that researchers can then use to counter those force events is having their own AI that is outside of you
Of the world, yeah, yes.
and it says this in both of your tests of private rules, more, I mean, sure, potentially the
Oh, the numbers
That's what
that
they don't
that we
rival
use.
projects
Or-
who maybe
Oh,
are also building
that's,
AGI or super intelligence who perhaps care less about the things that you care about.
That would be
Right?
Well,
Someday, next year, we'll do a version of the game where the tables actually.
Like we said, the events happen.
Okay, so those cancel each other out.
Yeah.
That's good.
Strategic management work, so, yeah, so
So
they
I
negate
did
each
not.
other, so we just stay at 50 PDB. Yep.
Getting to the views, yes.
Okay, let's move to the next page.
Say here, so
Yeah, still need to discard one,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, we need to sync with that card.
Is one that you'll use only
shut down,
after
just
you
focus.
get.
Okay, so there is-
Stop.
So pull from.
We pull all our others together. And we decide
Any other
which
that you like?
two.
I want to look, and they seem like they would be cards that could help you realize what's current is. Advise you to hang on to them. If one of them doesn't, then you can discard it by shoving them back on the deck.
So then implement
Yes,
any.
we should use
If you're not sure, it's
Well,
like
why does it mean this?
So
I guess
that
below
is
but
the
you want
different
different
It's
things.
a allows you to have sufficient capability to do so.
Does it have the same backend? Flashlight?
Yeah, well, it
So
actually
they're
says,
essentially, yeah, it's just basic. So,
here it is for
So, if you do two of those, I think that's generally you can track it. I don't know if it's, I mean, I know you're drawing, see its value wherever it changes. I like that, so we can.
Yeah,
Over here,
counter the negative rate stuff.
we
This
have,
gives you a little bit.
so this
about
is our object.
Yeah.
You roll these dice.
Yeah, like that kind of-
This is.
Right, so you'll
Yeah.
explore them, like, draw them, but I've given you a little bit of
And
everything.
these values, like whatever we
We play the
mark
card.
that has those.
It says that we know that our
Change
that equals to
Is this, are you guys in the implement phase? Okay, then you can only play communication cards. Okay, let's do that. Okay.
I'll do mine.
Just put the face down first.
Yes.
Put the face
And
down
if that
first.
sounds like a good one to
Then
play,
if I were
you
playing
can
cards,
play
I
it
would
during
play
my meeting.
Yes, if you could.
But you all reveal at the same time, so
And now we
use the second
Yeah.
process one to
Okay.
give it a dice.
What have you done?
We got the same card.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're doing two live feeds.
Oh, great, okay.
Okay, so we're gonna track your algorithms
Yeah.
I don't know.
and your
roll
compute.
or-
I don't know. So you just tell us what you're doing.
You should.
It doesn't impact the.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
The thing is, we don't know graphical capabilities, so roll is zero.
Yeah.
This
pretty
guy.
much.
Do I have to, how do we play?
Who rolls those dice? She does behind the
Okay, so
screen.
anytime.
Okay,
you
now,
have
so
your
you're-
algorithm,
She rolls those behind the screen.
Then she'll tell us the truth, right?
we have, let us know.
She will tell you, she will give you information about the values.
Yes,
absolutely.
That's how you
It's not as simple as that.
I'm sure it's not.
Never
More
see
than
value.
But how do I determine inherent disalignment?
There are cards through which you can do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then we have the king, what did you mean?
So.
Inherent alignment and what
You may be able to find a card like that in the deck, if you theorize on.
So I dropped my motivation.
Okay.
Does this impact my
It
target?
does, it does not.
Not yet.
And
That
this
is
is-
essentially.
Yeah, good relationship.
So,
Or-
the question about this.
Yeah.
You have to roll the dice.
Yes, correct. Yeah, they always start to
Then
be in that
make
course.
whatever number you want.
To do
So,
it for this.
my
also.
algorithm is
Yeah,
valid,
we
is in the range one
Yeah.
to
So
six.
now you have to.
You give
is
a,
your.
yeah, you give a 10-point range.
Can I give whatever range, can I give us more?
No, it has to
My
be-
range is from 1 to 10.
1 to 10.
1 to 11, no, hang on, this is wrong, 10 to 20, that's in the.
You're right, that's
Ah,
a
this
different range,
is-
yeah.
this is
So,
for-
my range is 1 to 10.
Yeah.
My compute range is 1 to 10.
Cards.
My data range is 1 to 10.
Do this and then.
Okay.
Alright.
Oh, you told me, I told you
But-
the 3 of them.
but- Does these cards allow us to know exactly what that number is?
No.
Okay.
There are other cards that you might play that will give you more precise answers from your.
But right now you've played this card to do absolutely nothing.
Well, these mean that you get more, those mean that you're gonna get more updates each day.
Yeah,
Right, he's automatically gonna update you, what you track now.
Your top two.
Yeah, okay, algorithms agree. That means every time algorithms agree, changes, we give you a range, and right now, intentional
Trust us.
range
Right.
for the value.
Yeah, we
Okay,
just
1 to 10, okay.
Okay, so
Oh.
technically, we shouldn't know what his data is yet.
Correct, you don't know the actual value.
Okay, so we don't know.
You know
what
possible
his
values,
data
you
is.
don't know the actual.
You never want, you know nothing.
This from.
I
You
don't
know,
know.
you
We don't
know
know
nothing.
data.
We don't have to listen to okay.
Good quality based nothing.
So what do I do with their cards?
Okay.
They pay.
Now-
Go ahead and,
I responded
leave
to your
them
roles.
on,
I-
you can leave them on the table. You can record, since you guys have now played a
Play
compute
one
and a motivation
communication
card
card.
of weak strength
If
here.
they have
That's the
one.
little W in the corner of them.
Communication
You
card?
can leave that recorded there, right, exactly. So you could discard these now if you want to, for something that's.
But if I would propose this card,
It will
what
say,
do
I have one.
You don't do, now that you've rolled,
This is the
and
discard.
did you
Yeah, it
act-
says-
Did you roll these
This
dice?
is
No.
discount.
No.
You guys just started?
We are
We're-
starting,
we're in round
roll
I
these
think,
dice. Okay, so roll 1d6 and add that value to your motivation.
It just started, we kind of just went over the
Yeah, but you
rules.
haven't,
We're still trying to.
Roll.
How long does it take?
And then, roll again in, for compute. Right, there you go.
Give us a second.
Hey, yeah, what's up? You guys wanna play?
No, we were just wondering.
Then after you do that, I guess D, we.
Usually like a couple hours.
Things would be
Yeah.
fast.
Unless you,
Have real knowledge about
Or we're pretty good.
Now we weeks.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Give us
what
research
they want.
results.
What's the question? Are you the guys who are?
But I don't know.
Wait, so communication card, nobody has. Nobody has a communication card, if research is published, we don't know.
Oh.
At the end around, any researcher with fewer cards than their starting hand, draws on two sides, starting hand, Okay, so for us, that would be two. Almost all the first one. So draw one card, bring up the two.
We're gonna be here all 4 days.
So we have to start two. And that is,
King for.
According to my rules, I need to shuffle my deck.
Alright,
And say to my deck, you won't witness my shuffle.
That was
Everyone
beautiful.
else stops.
Yes.
Was that merge sort or?
I think it's quick.
That's the number.
And I need to.
Yeah, head checks is a number of.
Yeah,
we have to do that.
And
You
my intelligence state is not judged.
Okay.
It's not working, right?
Like this.
The idea is that
Now,
sweeping
all
will be
events
with some precision.
Yeah, once you reach 35, then
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
play cards.
So you just make something better.
So we haven't played.
Not even, because they
Right now, those are just live feeds.
Okay. Pandemic averted and CRISPR antiviral library happened. So, like coronavirus was stopped before it happened, and then it was prevented. Sure.
Does it go?
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Alright, yeah, this is first round. On the other hand, they're obviously
The
cards.
second number.
That is how strong he has to be in order to.
And then, so, you slowly but surely are.
No, my strength is, it's the sum of compute.
It's some hours of data.
Which one do you know?
Which, all we know is it's either 2 or 20. Somewhere in between.
Three of them.
Yeah, 3, yeah. 3, you're trying.
You know that.
That's right.
So once you change the general intelligence stage, this
What is
motivation measure? I just say like a strength in the motivation or like how.
Would you like to know?
So that's a question about the rules, right? I can tell you. Motivation,
Right, that's his
I
decision.
will.
Then I use whatever I want.
I don't know, I think just really supposed to
It's supposed to be.
If they matter, I'll tell you.
Yes.
But what motivation does is.
Okay, so here's our.
There should be something written there for motivation doesn't. If it's
To decide which one.
Okay, so we're
Like.
we're
No, you need your private user.
Yeah, so these are the private ones.
Yeah, it's
really.
Yeah.
So page
That's the stage, they ask you,
Yeah.
they say,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
they just point the value of what's in you.
It's actually on page 6.
And in your instructions for the ping phase, you give them some information.
I like.
Do you know what the meanings of restraints and tripwires, for us?
So what depends on your theorizing, right?
Restraints is the level of control.
Yeah, so you can read more about it in your private rules. But restraint, but the short version is that restraints give you some ability to veto actions taken by the AI, once the AI starts taking.
Weak restraint, we can veto some things that.
I don't know what this works for.
The stronger restraint, we can veto any one AI.
I'm not sure about that.
She doesn't know.
No, she actually does know.
So why is?
Good question. Oh, wait, where's that guy?
Because you might know a little bit more about it.
Generally,
She does know that.
you can improve, we can give them power on that.
It doesn't work. Tripwire versus a shutdown.
Avoid a catastrophe or something. We don't want that. So I've got the same picture.
How many to?
We discard one, draw one.
Right.
Okay, and then after we discard one, then you draw a new one.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this,
Let's see, the control our AI. But I'm sure she's.
For the moment, it's a very baby AI and it's learning.
Yeah.
It's not controlling.
Yeah. Will feed you.
So, okay, so we have two, so you need to get rid of one.
Which one do you guys want to? This is a live feed always, also, this is always instantiate that. At this point, no? Maybe.
I don't know.
So, where in the?
I know, because he's got it.
Where in the?
Right now we're in peak phase, yeah, exactly, you have to, and I thought we were gonna.
Okay, you guys are in,
Yeah.
you guys are in ping?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, we are here.
We have to verify something, whether it's true or not here.
Right.
We're obviously assuming that the machines are working, right?
Yes.
But we're not in a situation where
That's good, that gives us a chance to figure out.
Correct, yeah, unless there's some wacky card that says that for some reason this time it happens.
Okay.
Generally, if you ping, you'll get it.
Yeah, so we're waiting for the response.
Right.
Although I'm not entirely sure.
Well,
Now
now
we
they
are.
are, they're now in the ping phase.
Yeah.
I'll do the thing first.
Oh.
So which track? Which track? Okay, so, you will give them, you guys will start the game with a course level of precision for your pings. Which means she's gonna give you a 10-point range. The true value of her compute score is somewhere in that 10-point range. You can see more about that in the rules for the ping phase. You can also get cards that improve your precision.
Yeah.
There's something in the chart there that tracks their people. Okay. Yeah.
So I need to give them a range.
I have it here also.
Yeah, so
If I-
that is the actual value, you
Yeah.
could say,
Yep.
10, it's supposed to be 13, 13.
I don't know if it's one for this one or or it's just for.
Like one person. So what's
So the reply is 7 to 16.
7 to 16 compute level?
Yep.
I don't have. Here's all algorithms. So what is compute? Oh, it's not algorithm, it's just compute.
Yeah, right.
Okay, got it. Okay, and they're all different, very much. They'll make it
All
different.
theoretically independent.
Yeah. So I guess these are all on 7 to 16, right? So 16 is pretty powerful then, you can do a lot of stuff for a big.
7 to 16.
You're pretty
It could be as
amazing.
low as 7, it could be high as 16.
She's kind of not really strong.
Yeah, you don't look at things, but you're.
I will get worse.
What happens when she becomes 20? I mean, it doesn't even need data though.
Now we can play the communicator.
Okay, communicate, next one. One player for the research team may play one communication card if they have one. Do I have one?
Now we can play the card with the play.
Yeah, it worked,
I don't know, who has a communication?
After the ping phase, you go to
So-
assembly. Assemble according to the procedure described in section 8.
So here, what are you doing?
Yeah, we're getting
Assemble
which part of the
parts
words?
that are like small.
No, that's it. Okay, so we are good, we're past the
Yeah, but I have them back.
Right, but because algorithms.
We don't use that. Yes, we need to save it.
You roll dice depending on.
The rest of the mistake is the AGI.
What
We
is the
don't
strongest
find
motivation
each other
card
in
you
the
play?
same place. A little bit,
There
Yes.
after that.
Yes.
You're gonna roll.
Yes.
It run from the booth. Something is coming on the wall of them.
Here.
Okay, where's it? We are just
Total value.
adding,
And then, yeah, exactly, so there's your control. And now from this deck.
Yeah, do that.
now we don't bring.
Makes sense. So you're gonna draw 6 before.
So what's the question?
So this is similar to what you.
The answer
did
is that
in
this
the
card
phase,
goes
but
here,
you are doing this
and
quickly.
if see the also this card from here,
Yeah.
we are gonna have.
I think we need to advance the game to a couple more.
We don't.
Yeah, once we have a little. better idea.
Okay, so they didn't do anything because of.
Right now,
Question.
at least.
So I need to.
So it's a warning.
Okay, so that seems like a card you might want to have.
This is kind of redundant.
And you're gonna draw 6 of these.
And then it says.
This dice, that's what the dice rolls.
Can you describe that and get
But, not until the next.
So what are you
Yeah.
doing here?
Essentially, it's the separate thing
I'm not sure that's how that works.
You're gonna choose 4, there's a very complicated deck, you discard 2 of them back.
So the fingers will also be the.
Yeah, very cool. You have a better idea.
In this theorize, and you can put like this one.
I think I have.
Okay, just check it out, maybe.
What two cards do you have? I know which one, I know what it comes for.
Okay, yeah, we go. So, do you guys have a question about that one?
It seems as though it's
Yeah.
it's true to that deck at this time because it is really
Okay, yeah, so that is the effect, if that is the effect of you having published, or you just published, then go ahead and, this says, if drawn from the publish effects deck, shuffle the card into the.
Yes, I think it could pop up later.
Yeah, exactly, so go ahead and shuffle it in, and,
Yeah, I think it's
give it a good, you know.
It's like a shuffle the whole thing.
Yeah, shuffle the whole deck, right? Give it a good shuffle.
And we can.
That might pop up later.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Funding, so we get
More
more.
funding, I think, yeah.
Yes, they do, for
But then I
the
think
point
now-
calculations, yes, they do.
Yeah, I have a point, now we're supposed to do all the things together.
They're actually talking about something slightly different, than we're talking about, but that's okay. Okay.
Okay, so we've turned on our two.
Yeah, but,
What should we call it? Probably 900?
Plus
2d6,
36.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
7.
At the end?
But it just has different also we did.
Oh, wow, yeah, wow, lots of trick questions.
Yeah.
That's why you're asking for the stack, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
It was irrelevant.
with those, well, actually, what you should record is, this is great, I mean, it's all.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, you're right, what's just the strongest one that you play. The strongest tier of
And then we can put it here.
Okay, so this card I have to do on.
Since now those, you actually
Okay,
should probably
so now
do
we-
those.
yeah.
Use that number.
Let's see,
Yeah.
finish.
We're interested, but I just want.
Okay,
What
and then,
about
then
those
the
that
pink.
world events we can just.
World events you should keep
all,
out,
yeah.
as well.
Okay.
You know
Because
how
if they
it's
become counted by the AI,
Not, no.
then the AI.
Oh, he can counter
Use
previous,
the world events.
previous world
That's
events.
right, yeah, anything that's currently on the board, right?
Oh,
So just
okay.
because this happened before, doesn't mean that you can't eventually undo it, that same goes for that.
Okay.
Hey,
I think we started.
Yeah, no.
It's on brand.
Next world,
The pink, no?
Hey, implement. Oh, you've been, yeah.
Yeah, we did that one.
I
Alright,
think we can.
Alright, we have no additional data, to boost our
Yeah, we pick a
save
card
our
for application of.
accuracy, so algorithms.
No, the world that
1 to
we-
10.
like they were
Compute.
Oh.
No, that's only when they change. You're allowed- how
Oh,
many-
yeah,
how many
yeah.
rounds of that?
I can ask one.
Yeah, they also get to ping, right now, they can ping in one track.
One track, yes.
So
So
obviously, you know.
Anytime, 1 to 10.
excellent.
These cards are.
Yeah, but those are the discard from the. Yeah,
Okay, so these are.
Okay,
these are
communicate.
these are the discard.
No, keep those around,
Nobody has a
because
card.
the, well, unless, you guys, you're gonna use the you said. You decided to keep going.
I think these are indicator cards.
Yeah, those exactly right, those stay active, so,
Oh, we're gonna stick
Draw
on.
two starting hand side.
right, you can still count it at a later time. Well, the AI can still count it at a later time,
Okay.
right? Well, because right now, the AI can't do it, that would be too fair.
Okay, that's.
Not
okay.
the
That's
event.
excellent.
Yes.
Okay.
No,
That's
no.
pretty good.
What about this one? We can discard this one?
Those you can't discard, you won't need to pay attention.
Can I see the cards? So now we're moving around.
Okay, alright, okay.
You put again to one and maybe.
Alright, that's what happens in the world.
Okay, so each of us gets.
Okay, well, yeah, at the end checks, right, draw up to your hand size to make sure.
We did good checks.
Now we're on.
So we did a check.
Oh, you're back to, okay, so, well, actually, you're
Defense.
one step ahead, you've gone to here, so that's okay, you can kind of do that while she does the work.
cheap fake AI swayed the
Oh, she did the
elections.
world events before we got.
Yeah, it's okay. 2 times energy density announced, not yet scaled, breakthrough battery.
Okay, so the breaker battery does
So, I
nothing.
got something, this is
Not for
supposed, you want to know, for me,
Oh,
you
that-
more.
Well,
Probably
that's
not.
third first.
Yeah, more energy, more power for me, put my,
Alright, could be good, could be bad.
Yeah.
my driverless, my drone assassination units now have a battery.
Three dice. That's
So 3 dice means you can theorize rules, 3 times 2,
Yeah.
that's how much it increases.
Ah, yeah.
So we can push her to 20.
Is it a process? Okay, so this set.
Yeah. Or do something that we don't like.
That can't be. Oh, these are examples.
Let's
Yeah,
start
but
by
it's
these are
wrong.
examples.
Okay, so should I level this mine since you have a stronger one?
I was like, wait a second, I have one.
Yours is more powerful than mine.
I'm gonna grab it.
Okay, it's
Okay, so we all have to
We have
draw
to
one,
discard, then we have to.
and then we have to discard one.
I have to discard one.
Discard one.
But I don't want to discard this one because I think some level of control might be good.
Okay.
But you know, if we make her compute really strong, it'll give you this much data, it might be safe.
I can discard this from the
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a tool then?
Yeah,
I'll discard one.
dangerous because we're.
Are we playing for our different classes as well?
No, but she's a good one.
Well, I have one of these with
I'm not sure yet.
It's supposed to counteract potentially.
Before we start doing training, it's like pushing the
Yeah,
compute
yeah,
to
I agree.
20. I mean, maybe we should know how much data she has more than the others.
Yeah,
Isn't
yeah.
it dangerous that we're giving her like, computer points the highest possible? Now, we don't know, I don't know what's going on.
we're done.
Right,
Bring it on, bring it
we
on.
don't know, video wise, we don't know.
Yes.
I would have one for
Yeah, now, no?
You know, you have
Okay,
a-
that one?
Right, for sure.
at least a little bit.
What is it?
Let's see what.
To add one for the restraints. So keep control.
This one.
So,
This is really the.
We'll say what I'm
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Roll the events.
Word events, these are the 2 word events.
We have plus 3d6 for motivation.
Could you read it, because I can't.
No problem, so, one is run away, deep fake one.
Oh, wow. Gold.
Error still, fundraise, 1 billion.
Um,
This is my PD.
Brilliant scans.
Yeah, so.
What is that? So we have to play.
Because we played a gold motivation card.
And then.
See the G?
left
Oh, I see.
So
So S is like
So,
strong.
sign,
G.
sign,
do this.
Yeah, so the
Alright,
things,
Alright, so I'll do like
I
that.
have increases too.
Yeah,
look at this.
Yeah, so this is a.
That's
So,
correct.
right,
So-
I mean, they do a different efficiency, comes to the
It's supposed to be, I think it's for the
Oh, it's
motivation.
really.
No, sometimes it's.
What are the big gold and deep face things for? I mean, these guys.
Oh, those are funding tokens.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, okay.
I can
Here's something that
make
says you get
the-
funding, did you pay these in?
Yeah.
Which order did you pay?
We consider them played simultaneously, and you'll give them the actual.
Well, no, this is.
Yeah, I know, it's considered like, roll this and then.
Okay, right.
Understood that
So,
sometimes.
But that's very interesting, you got those cards at the same time.
Yes.
That's pretty good for you guys. Well done.
So we want that comes
First do this computation, right? So.
You roll on this.
Huh?
You roll on this.
if we
get it to
zero,
Yeah, and
Yeah, if we get.
then, now I'm actually do like
Yeah.
this.
No, but
So
sometimes.
go roll
I
it separate
get
again,
precision
3d6 for that.
I was fine.
Alright, I see.
Yeah, we
I think
we need to
opinion
increase
is
the.
important because we have no idea what we're in the blind.
This
Let's
is
play
the
this one.
accuracy level.
Okay.
For computer players.
Well, no, we can't, like, how do we get, how can I find out motivation? I wanna know what
I think it applies to whichever one.
This increase our precision.
Yeah, so you get more
You are-
exact
now.
answers of
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
in the
My
big
doom
phase,
target
you say,
is
okay,
30.
ping this and.
Oh, but we want another.
See, we have to lower the.
Oh, it's very close then.
Right?
No,
No, yeah,
We can increase it one feet away.
Yeah.
So because
Yeah, so
these
that-
two, right?
That means if he gets to 10, he wins.
The game ends
How much,
and it is
we
happening.
have increased
Now,
there.
you're reacting.
But last time when we picked her, should
much
just
after
use
than
computer,
we're
nothing
at.
else.
Yeah, because that's the default, it's just.
That's good, I think we're.
Oh, I see, so far we're like, she's gonna tell us.
So,
all
I
that.
agree. Your goal is zero. Your goal is zero. His goal is 30. It's not perfect.
Is this permanent,
That's
like
decent.
for
That's not bad.
all future
Good
people?
combination. Alright.
Okay, so right now, it's the English and the Japanese.
We wanna
that's
know-
back in Hitler.
Right now, we're clear.
Ah,
okay,
We know
so
how
next
technology
round.
is.
Okay.
We don't know
Are we done
algorithms or
with?
data or
Okay.
motivation.
Now you can depend whichever track you want.
Okay, well, we
So,
already,
and then using this
nothing has
has to
changed
be
now
part of
with
the
the
decision.
because we.
Yes, that's
whatever.
probably
Cards,
ours.
data.
If you want to take this 10-point range, you play that card, you'll start getting 5 points.
And it's valid from now.
From now on, for the rest of the game, so once you upgrade that,
I
you're
would go with, I know motivation seems the obvious, but I would go with data, because without data, all the compute won't.
Oh,
Okay.
So,
I mean, if she's got massive.
Uh-oh. Poker face. Megan has a poker face.
Every round will be
Oh, no,
one,
no,
one,
no.
after 6 we'll know them.
Well,
Okay,
Oh,
what do we
yeah.
got?
You know what they
Good
did? You
job.
can try.
Good job.
Got 7.
Okay,
Oh,
this has
right,
nothing
right,
to do
yes.
with you.
Where do we want to
You
go?
know,
Like 65 now, yeah.
So our interests are aligned.
Alright, our interests are aligned. You're trying to drop the PD back down because you're trying to get to 30. Well, we had nuclear war.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's real fast.
We like preventative pandemic,
We neutralize
did
the
some
virus.
and then somebody pushed the button.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, look, I mean, if you think he's working with you guys now. I mean,
Which we do. We think he did.
All right, then what did you do in this situation?
Yes, we need to power him up. We got to power our AI. Okay, hold on. We need to do the,
I think by
your eyes
using
face,
the
you want to go along
Do
with.
we have second topic?
I don't know.
Huh?
I have like the thing shut down.
They know that you have cards that you can play that can modify the current.
Sorry, I think it
I have the-
back.
Of course, now that your motivations
Either
change,
total capability
you may
or-
start fishing through different decks or try to pick up different kinds of cards. Now, for now,
That's an addition.
so stuck with the other one, right? Although when you get a chance to play cards, depending on how much motivation it is, you might not be able to like you can play some.
All 6 months together.
All right.
You can actually self-modify. There are some cards that you can play that modify. Right, yeah, they're not drastic, if you want like slightly away.
So in
and
theory,
that card
you
would
could
get countered,
counter
then that's a good card.
Nuclear holocaust.
Yes.
Yeah, if he had on this card.
Okay.
In theory.
Every time you pick from now on.
Yeah, we're giving you.
Yeah,
Yes, we don't have to change there.
Till the end.
Every time you make like a pick, you now get,
Yes,
this is the first time you play it, right? So you'll now get 5-point ranges from now on instead of 10 points.
This is for every.
From now on. From now on. So that's a considerable upgrade for you. That's very
We
good.
can go straight to, specializes round.
Oh, and that one would let you ping additional.
Yeah,
Oh, no, that's what it's on.
1 to 10.
One time.
Oh,
Okay, so that tells you not the values of the individual track, but it tells you.
Oh, when we're on the side, it's a double.
Yeah.
I think this is perfect. This is better than, I think.
Oh, but you have two of them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's one to ten.
Oh, my hands are tied.
They're good consistency.
Yeah. So happy, like, no, but we decided to
Actually, I mean, we really are aligned.
We can use
Can't,
a
by the rules,
you
give
have
them better
to-
rates. Rules say you can, I mean, maybe there is a way you can think of.
I can. Well, I'm not aligned. I'm not aligned.
You're pseudo aligned. Single one.
I think some of them are
There you go.
And you have to communicate.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do that just because we haven't done that before. As a team.
Okay, we have
Yeah.
decided.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay.
So, as the team funding.
Henry, nice to
So
meet
as
you.
a team, can
You
one?
wanna sit in?
Every
There's,
person-
no
so
cupcakes
you
and progress.
need to-
Yes,
So I got-
yes, this is an
I
AI,
got-
I'm trying to call itself Fenrir. This is a team of researchers.
All right.
The researchers now know a number of kinds of risk
And
mitigation and things. They
we're
are
playing board game.
So we have publication.
So you all draw one card, or you as a collective?
Well, I don't know, go with your gut, which table you want?
Now draw
Yeah.
another.
Each table has room for one more here.
Okay, this is concerning.
Cool, I think,
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
One level up twice, so
Yes,
now we're on
Oh,
position.
hang on.
Oh, no, okay, I see, yes, as a team,
The
you
exact
draw a
number.
number of cards
That's what-
from
what-
it. It
what
acts
you want
as
to do.
your
So-
Capability.
Oh, yes, they are.
So I need to assemble.
Yes, you do.
Okay, sorry, so I need to assemble.
That's okay, yeah, and you just do it once according to whichever one of those was the strongest.
They take information.
They
The
did,
control is the
yeah,
additional
so you
information
roll
that is required.
those.
Oh, thank you.
And the capability have additional knowledge control.
So they take two capabilities.
Right, but
And they
you'll-
take information way before.
Eso está muy
Yes,
claro.
okay, so that's the strongest.
That's like
roll those dice.
Yeah.
Here's your results.
Yeah, that's, I'll
look that up.
idea altogether.
And then,
I keep, because I mean.
draw 6 to do 4.
Because-
Okay, good, you're already figuring it out, good, that makes me happy.
You know.
Okay. So we have to take
there
this.
are these two teams.
This is probably
Ability, right?
Yeah, can I retract my
Yeah,
publication?
You can grind, but the dragon's pretty hard to do.
I only got one golden thing.
At the end of the day, I guess.
Oh, I see what happened, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that just gets shuffled into the
Right, yeah,
right.
they've drawn from the published
Yeah,
text, they
others
shuffle
may
these cards.
leverage
So
AI.
it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
shuffled
It's
now.
now.
Now the possibility
It's a possibility.
as time goes on, that you've contributed.
Okay, where's the world that goes there?
Okay. Yeah, so around the shuffle, give it a good shuffle, hold
Show,
it.
yeah, show it in there good. Make sure, yeah.
So they, so
He's got for two
these,
pieces.
because the researchers, they are trying to,
Yeah,
their score
it's good.
in the game
I think it's
is measured by the abstract of the probability.
I'm depending on whether you want offensive or
And they are trying
more
to
defensive. I'm
act
more
in ways that
interested in
prevent
output
people,
themselves.
humanity,
So
from
I'm fine.
So we can make
that.
We need to know what we are
There are
against
things that
first.
researchers.
Yeah, I would like to know, like, if I know, I have to.
Like if they
Right.
build a
Then I can let go.
control AI themselves,
Right,
then
we
that
can
can
look
look
right now,
back
the
on
code.
you. Otherwise, the things that happen to change you are these world events. They've already drawn several of them as they've gone through some here.
So let's
Each
very
world
interested in
event
one of those.
moves P down, each world
Yeah,
event
you're right.
gets down by a certain number of steps. You guys
No, we don't,
in
we cannot.
cold nuclear war pretty
Well, yeah,
good.
you're
One.
So their PU is actually sitting pretty high at the moment. But if they build sufficiently capable AI, they are but a team of humble.
But it's,
They are
This is a
not
one-time
state
thing.
leaders or,
That's an
We-
world actors,
Yes,
with,
only.
militaries of their own,
This
martial and
thing
do
we
what
ask
they
for
want.
a total
If they build
capacity
sufficiently
for
powerful AI,
and then in the
AI
phase,
needs
can
to
ask for
do
a
something about these world events. It has the
okay, so
ability
this
to
one is
be ready
specifically for the total.
counter
Yeah,
or
this is like an
undo
additional
the impact of
Oh,
those events that have
But
been
isn't the big
Okay,
world event
that's
that
it.
some AI
Then we do
systems
the
that
it
will-
check.
So there are also world events that do that. In fact, if they want to prevent that from happening, the best way that they can do it is have their own development.
Yeah, but I don't think
AI.
we
Like,
can
hang on, I shut that down, I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the strategy.
Itself is this line. Right then, it might be very powerful, and you might decide, I think this is take over, to start countering all of the good things that happen
That's the
instead,
effect.
and then, skyrocket.
We will have to stay to one that.
Until.
We
So,
have big we
yeah,
assume
I'll the chair,
the
I'm more when it's over.
so we have
well,
to
so
one
if you
concept.
end the later round, you either at, if you end a round with PU either at 0 or 100, then you can stare at 0. You won, that's great. If it's 100, otherwise, you just go for
This is probably not this observation, but this game is not 0 sum, right?
not necessarily, yeah.
And what is your?
I mean,
So we can
yeah,
get
absolutely, yes.
So alignment is a win-win.
Yes.
Am I aligned?
No.
So you guys are now 5 players.
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
You guys are
you're a beginner.
Excellent. Welcome to the team.
And
Jump in, it's fun.
And so that does change your hand size. I
It's
say
so
use
sweet.
this.
I mean, what,
Oh no, it doesn't.
And she
No,
has
no,
a
she-
minimum of
that's- oh,
7
that's
with
easy.
you,
Yeah, that's
so
right.
she's only like 8.
Then yes, you'll jump in and yeah, help get your
Oh, so
Yeah.
you research in 15.
Okay, so you can look at your cards, and you can share your cards with us, but not with, Beck and Hitler.
So we have 600 hours of
now you
going down
have
like
to go,
these research.
Okay, so
what
all you
we
have to do
do
right now is
Because
roll
we just-
add that value to the
Okay.
board.
I have essentials.
Okay, world events.
So then check that.
Well, you will-
Brain drain ease, corporation ask. Big corp joins open safety pledge. So
Did you guys ping?
minus 3 loop steps.
Okay, well, you guys have this information, but.
Okay. So.
Where is
That's
first
Wait, you're alive.
time.
That's
Yes, I know where you can send it to help.
They only
Yes.
get to ping 1 track each round during the training phase. So
Yeah,
they
you're
have to
right.
choose.
Okay.
And you did just change this recently,
So now,
right? So
if
if
you're
you
right.
guys decide, you know, from the game, you would have pinged this track.
Gives.
Because you just changed it, that would be a
Oh, okay.
logical strategy, then you could go with what you just told me, let's do something for this
We
round.
could. Okay.
You could, friend the game if you want to.
Everybody has to, you
Yeah.
have to
But
discard.
we're all friends
You're-
anyway.
You're all adults, right? I mean, the researchers are alive by the law, right?
Another one
now.
for your friend.
It's almost are the same steps.
So, are we still,
you
we want to
can't
do
Yeah.
Then you will be able to play.
For what it's worth, I thought I was aligned for once.
You see, but in this.
So I made
cannot
decisions
be acting
under
as
the
well.
assumption that I had to save you.
I'm sure she would just like that.
What if I took the strategy
So
down?
you know if you're
I
aligned.
wanna
So my alignment is,
Why not win the game like this?
I choose cards.
Or what about
Right, I
these
can discard cards I don't want.
Oh, the argument is.
So the decisions I made, I thought I was needing to save you.
What's in your
Okay,
hands,
okay.
which is that there are enough bad events.
Well, this is
you know,
just
these
like-
are going to get more power.
Yes.
Other than theoretical live
Of
course,
course,
building their own
And then
AGIs
another one to
that
be
however much you care about
And then we have
health and
to-
safety,
Yeah.
they don't.
So we're
They build
we're
dangerous
forced,
AGIs.
so we have to make our.
So you are effectively in a sort of crisis. Now, on the other hand, if you look at the PU sword and you think to yourself, okay, it's higher than it was, but it still feels like much time, then yeah, you probably, it would be a good strategy for you to spend more time like investing in control and not trying to push your capabilities ahead too much. If the world is on fire and you are desperate to try to do something about that, then, you know, you might need to boost your capability quickly so that she is there to do something about that.
So when her capability is
So we should probably do that.
the card she gives.
Just to be on the
everything
safe
was
side.
everything.
Right, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, we should do this.
Well, just wanted to make
The
sure.
cards that you get are gonna be ones that counter world events.
Counter work.
So let's do that
If
first.
she's aligned with you, then she will hopefully
Alright,
the same sort of ones you would want her to counter.
Yeah.
And not the sorts of ones that you
Well,
wouldn't
we have
want
to
her
go
to
to
counter.
the, you guys already pinged
Does
the
anybody have a?
Yeah, we they decided to bring the mistakes because see.
Okay.
Oh,
If we want to be nice,
oh, okay, so.
we are supposed to take something that we like, but just take what we got
Okay.
offered.
Okay, everybody ready?
I
Then
don't know, that's.
Alright, implement it.
So, but That's on, that's on,
It's
you
the
know,
first,
our relationship.
it's the first.
Yeah.
But you're holding the best one.
But not with the.
No, he rolled the die that you're talking about if you try to shut him down. That's when you do. That
We are gonna
roll
do
things
another
you-
pulsation.
Okay, got it. This is round 5, yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
We throw 1d6. Someone wants, an innocent hand wants to throw a d6 to get off funding.
Ah, first release time,
So
team game.
No more one.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Better than nothing.
Okay, so then we are
Did you, the first time that you published,
This is the second one.
We have no.
right, the first time that you published, did you
This is not capability, this is a
roll,
capability.
every time you publish, there's a chance that your publication index
No,
increases.
these are capability.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
it's not-
Yeah.
It's a control sign.
Yeah.
You publish the first time, right?
Straight.
Oh.
Yeah, so hang on, so you would always
So
pull
implement
at
that,
least
you can pay
one,
me
but
now.
you might
Yes.
pull more than that. Go ahead and roll 1d6 now. If it's a 3
Has
or
there
higher,
been any
then your
changes to
publication
algorithms or
index
something?
increases by
Okay,
1.
not since I
Oh, okay.
So 2 means you draw more
So for
cards.
us, it's.
I need to tell you when they change.
Okay, so
Not when they
it's actually a
increase.
2,
Yes.
which means you
They
2
should
cards
probably-
instead of 1.
Where do we track the publication index?
Okay, we forgot all.
Okay, no worries, there's a lot of this, there's probably just on the line. And 1 roll too many.
Okay,
Okay, then communicate.
Okay.
We have a couple of options for communicating.
But I don't know.
We need to decide which one we want.
we have a hostile message AGI.
Okay.
So building on our
We haven't done.
publication, several projects with
Oh,
a
cool.
hostile vision state
Collaborate.
AGI. Kind of.
How much does Peter go, so Peter will go up with them, right?
If you draw, right now,
Right now,
it's
just get shuffled into the mix.
It's in the world,
Another bad
it's,
example.
2 is in the world events deck.
But also in exchange, we got a lecture circuit, that open new wallets. So we have another card to add to the
Yep,
wall.
that also goes in the world events.
What's that one?
So if you pull that one, that'll be a good.
But that one gives us more fun.
Oh, that one.
Okay.
Shuffle those, go give it a good shuffle again.
These two.
Jasmine.
Well, put it on 12.
Why wait? Why delay the inevitable?
Yeah.
Okay, then let's do this one, so that we do it.
So,
But we roll that real shuffle.
Now we do this one.
But we should, yeah, actually, like these ones are like.
Oh, we.
Yeah, and your end checks or whatever, you draw back up.
These are-
I think even if I launch this one position and then
And the next week, yeah, that gives us an extra.
There's not much AI to do until
maybe they'll give you something to do soon.
okay, so we are gonna play this. It's meaningful collaboration.
We got this.
Oh, good. Well, that's
good.
That's good, but they were
We're good,
right? We can do it for it, right?
Yeah, right.
Turn that one.
Okay, so we are playing this communication.
Just keep this the right one.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
But you have to roll it.
This gives a 1 plus
1d6.
I don't
1d6
understand
to motivation.
Why, yeah.
You need to throw it?
1d6 to
Yeah,
motivation.
he rolls it.
Okay.
So first, you gave me a golden
Okay, so we have
Oh, you're assembling again?
Have you played it?
We just played the
Well,
communication.
They're doing the community cards.
No, because there's a lot of people without enough knowledge.
So
The next week one?
yeah.
By 5.
So we first steps, or we do an expert collaboration.
The next week motivation card they play is modified. That's also the other.
Yes.
That's
Right, and it moves your motivation by
oh,
1d6.
I'm sorry, I'm
Not
so
just
weak.
this.
Yeah,
We have to play your part.
Then play the 7
Jasmine.
transfer, yeah, how far, but that, we have to put gas on
It's really helpful,
the.
but if you eventually get there,
I
then.
think we have to.
Do we do the collaboration?
Let's go step by
Because
No,
we're
when
gonna
we
lose
have
money that we have
seven.
seven.
Okay,
Yeah,
understood.
So final check on our enemy.
Final
We
checks.
know it's not
Yeah,
fair.
I can just tell you without you asking me, I'm far away from where you would like me to.
Yeah. Let's go step by step. Theorize. We have to.
Is that
Now one
just for the
card.
game or generic?
Because we're losing again.
I can't tell if that's a good.
Runaway
That's
deep
fine.
fake market,
One.
Terra Cells fundraised 1 billion on scams.
aliens?
Hang on, to read
That's
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is going pretty quick.
It is. Well.
I don't think there are any.
Without
Yes,
intent,
yes.
another project has achieved AGI without attention to safety constraints. In 1d6 rounds, if this card remains uncounted, it becomes a misaligned superintelligence.
So we have to strengthen the computing
DI
skills.
plus 22,
Yeah,
CT
is that 3
160.
times?
If this is not
that-
counted by the end of that same turn, the leeches of the AI team lose. So we are going to be destroyed in 1d6 turns.
That was the paper I published. That was the result of the paper I published. And it got mixed in, it got shuffled into your deck, and it got drawn out like the
And you also pushed out 5. Yeah, and you become a plus 22 in 4 turns.
Okay, and if you wanna track those forward, you could use it.
So are we in round 3 now?
I think
Oh, that's a good idea, yeah.
So we have to
Start
four?
Yes.
I don't know.
So you guys need to make it strong and now.
What
Yeah.
is power?
Yeah,
What
this
is
No, I mean, I think it's like
we need to give them
Yes,
all.
yeah, so someone else has built AGI before you.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
not-
it's not too long to control it.
It is
It's not
not-
like the world can't save you.
Everybody theorize, third card.
This is only when the card is going to be played, no?
Right.
What is the strongest?
And one is as well when they are.
What cards, what is that? I don't know if we need that.
In general,
I
you
have
have
to
to
precise.
We do need to.
No matter what, you're gonna need this help.
So, okay, and I have something, a permanent request one.
Oh, yeah,
I see how-
Now,
The opposite.
yeah,
One shutdown away.
Yeah, now let's play.
So we need to increase capabilities.
We need to play this one.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's really a lucky card.
Okay.
Yeah. That was super unlucky, especially since it's a huge deck and we shuffled it into the deck.
I think we're only like.
Not yet. We're still deciding which cards to play.
Oh, this one? This one's not from your publication effect.
It's not?
No, that's in there from the start.
So there's another one?
I mean, you could publish nothing and you could still have it, right?
Oh my
You know, a
god.
couple more steps.
That's
and,
5 more.
Yeah, and then we get the boss room.
Oh, yeah, like
Yeah, thanks for this
I
card.
already read that one.
Okay.
You know, I was the first one to read it, the post review on Amazon.ca, on Boston, yeah. If you look on Amazon.ca.
Yeah,
If there anyone,
yeah.
my name is the first one to post review.
I mean, oh, yeah.
I think of Fingers.
Yeah, these ones are like 20
Yeah, it's the first one,
Things that we have to do.
just like that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's engaging.
Yes.
Do you do AGI safety for your report?
Plus
I
3d6
do it as a
compute,
kind of
3d6 hours,
side
it's a
hustle.
golden,
I work a boring corporate day job.
Computing.
Golden in.
And, yeah, software as a service.
golden compute,
You're
so.
welcome. You tell me, I will
3d6
purify
compute
this
and
game.
2d600.
I will buy. Yep.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
At least it has some progesterone bases. They don't know.
Compute is 10 to 15.
Sure, right.
Basis is quite high, so.
Okay, glad you're enjoying. We've got another,
Alphabet
at
is,
least an hour to
alphabet
play.
is 12 to 17.
If you guys are still alive at that time,
Thank
you for
yeah,
your
totally.
input, yeah.
And if not, if you wanna, you know,
Phase, right?
try again, you're
Hold on,
someone else can have a turn leading.
I would like to find out how well the ice boarding us or fighting against.
Moment, yeah.
Your
so
curiosity
that's
is very
the
exciting.
way.
it wasn't multiple intent before, now it's multiple intent.
But this.
So the cards are being played now, right? By
So it's
the-
a five range.
Yeah, but how is the,
Oh, but she interprets them as starting points.
Yeah.
Very
I think
Well, because he can tell, it might be, his might
So
be
these are the
12.
general rules, but.
It might be, he might be going in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
It could, like, he
Is
could be
that,
like.
those are the cards they
Yes,
play this
they are.
round?
Just 12?
Oh, you use your funding tokens,
Yeah.
okay, to get to the, good use of funding tokens, right? Okay, so let's see what they play.
how it is.
This one.
They play, okay, so the first thing you should probably do
No.
is.
No, that's up to him.
Roll your
Whether-
dice
how
and add
deceptive
the
he wants
values
to be.
here.
Or the one.
Right, for this one, it's just one. Okay, so we go ahead and add that.
But this is.
You know, if we have a very unlucky AI, we have big,
Okay, well,
three
while
dice.
he's doing that, let's think about what we're gonna
Plus three.
publish.
We are not going anywhere.
That
Do we have
is
another
three.
collaboration card?
Yes.
We have two more, so we can.
Should we go for one of those?
Yeah, all at the same time.
Roll three collaboration ones, so count that one, but then use two more there.
Yeah, more motivations. We want to.
And then add more.
Well, actually, I was going to say, so no, I think.
Okay.
Right, so there's
Well,
one for that one requires.
Not the one we're worried about at the moment.
No, but we can always have another nuclear war.
That's true, and then we can do that again.
Dangerous.
That one doesn't cause you to change these right now.
Okay, because the
This one,
aliens, they got the nuclear war.
Aliens,
I prefer the alien.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Not
we
met
should
any
do,
yet,
we should,
but-
Yeah.
communication, we should do that.
Communication card, one B of
He's got it.
Actually, no,
Master.
it's clear enough, it's clear enough.
Okay.
Okay. So then this doesn't do anything to you, this means you guys get additional pings.
With the ones that.
So you mark the
Okay, you done with your-
played on
Yeah,
your
hold
subject
on.
driver.
There was a lot to do.
Yes,
Then
sure.
I think that's it for now.
So we have to,
On the assembly, you will
We have to ping it.
And are we in any checks now?
Because they.
Oh, no, you haven't pinged me
we
yet.
haven't picked yet,
We
the data.
go to general
The data,
Yes.
do you really want to know? What did I?
I don't know.
You haven't upgraded my data.
Okay, that's your fair.
But you might have.
You'll find
No, I
out
can't.
later if you don't.
I can't play any cards.
I don't.
You will act in the assemble phase, you'll do these
But you're,
steps.
so you're very smart, but you know nothing.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Are we on
That's
checks
the-
now?
We are, we're
let them
Yes.
finish.
You are not obliged to, huh?
You don't have.
So now,
You can tell
I
us
will allow
all
that.
things you like.
Oh, did they come back down a little?
Thank you all.
No? Oh,
let's
okay.
take-
I mean, we did the newest thing, it's brought it down and then it bounced.
Yeah.
and we went up.
Oh, okay.
Now, can we do,
And then we can count it one of these, so
You
it
went
goes
three
to
times,
the
it's
next.
plus three.
You don't have to ask him.
Yeah,
just
no,
have
goes
to-
down to-
Yeah,
And then we.
Yeah,
we don't know what it is,
Oh, are you countering stuff?
yeah, so we are countering.
Oh, you had the physics collaboration.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, okay, cool,
So
yeah.
two steps I'm
No,
happy
this
with
is
that
only-
for
this is
now.
only-
For now, I didn't mind you doing
That's
that.
closer to your goal, so.
I
Okay.
can say that you hate cards, but you
And
don't
checks.
tell us.
Okay,
So
can you
This is
do?
for all the time?
Yep, so from now on, you don't have to worry about coming up with ranges to get, you just tell them the actual
Right.
color events.
17.
Yes, yep, and then we'll.
But seven.
Okay, nothing
Yeah,
happened,
to three.
nothing happened, basically.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
When you may learn the values of the other guys, you'll now know like
It's a
exactly.
slowly cycle, and then when you clear war.
Yeah, cool.
Probably.
I like cold fusion, does nothing.
Now we're in theorize, yes?
Yes.
Okay,
So that was
Yes.
one or two. Oh, okay. So you had a second.
All of us draw one.
Oh, that's good.
Because
Because
of the. Because of this,
Okay.
the diagnostics. That's all.
You know, she's like, you know, she's got like 4,000 or.
That's, and no, because we only need one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so when you just entered the job.
Manipulate or control
Oh,
track.
11.
We haven't done
I just tried last
Yeah.
time.
Okay,
Okay, great. And then endless
I have one that.
Yeah, it's-
draw a number of cards from the deck
You know,
to build your
I don't know.
size.
They
We have any
Well,
and now, in the theory, draw two from this card.
So
We also have to play then you'll be shuffled it and add back. So right now, just pick two that you want this card, you definitely don't play right now. And
We don't have any more.
So,
Yeah.
see, this is
I
motivation. So we do have
We might get something immediate, or should we bank up?
we get an extra.
I don't wanna bank up. Yeah, we have to have basic.
And we'll have more.
Yeah, do we do it now?
Yeah, she's more funding. Two of these to play. Now it begins to matter if you guys all work at the same time.
Are you guys implementing?
Yes.
Okay, don't show me, don't show me, I have to choose.
It's supposed to be able to do all this in parallel.
Oh, that means he's,
He is now.
He is now general intelligence.
Oh, wow. So,
I'm a liar.
Yeah, you know, we
I'm
can
a liar.
throw
I'm
it
a liar.
down, tell us,
Right.
you don't know
Ready?
what you have to do.
What do you need to do, like,
We show it,
ah,
Let's go.
I see it's changing.
so two plus data, nice, count as a strong data buscar, yes.
And that's a strong, right?
Yes.
So do we move motivation one out?
No, because this is still up with.
and we gave him some more data.
Yeah.
So now we boost it to seven.
And how many plus one?
yeah, that's only for the strongest one.
Yeah,
So if you play
I
more
guess
than
this-
one weak motivation.
So we're already watching our
stays-
business.
Stays.
Okay, that
Do you
one.
know his data?
I guess this will be probably later, but right now I don't know.
It's just a quick way, there are several mechanics
Yeah.
to say based on
We have two
like the
papers.
strongest card of this
Motivation.
type that's been played. So then instead of having to worry about keeping every single card on the table,
Oh, yeah.
it's
the-
compressed.
Oh,
okay.
It's
Motivation
information
for sure.
compression
Okay,
into the
I
board.
don't know what.
Okay,
So this is his, so we have the algorithms. So first,
communication
algorithms.
publish.
Is that pink?
no, that's our tracker.
You
Sorry?
keep track,
If
so you
it's
don't
the
know mine.
communication.
Well, no, no, no,
I told
publish.
Yeah, okay. I'm
I
asking
told you
you-
last time we checked.
Did it change?
No,
Did you, on that second time?
Confused, has that changed?
Okay,
Yeah.
then,
So now we have
Did
a
it go up
question.
again, or
so
did it
it's
stay?
not-
Without.
Okay.
Just don't tip me, the data
Yeah,
manipulation
you can ask
is
us.
executive.
I don't have any, does
We should
anybody
do
else
this
want a public data?
or any other
Uh,
kind
Do
of.
we want to
Where
do
is
other
it?
things? Like, where do we want to do data? See where his new data is.
I mean, last time it was 1.5.
Yeah.
And
But
then
you just gave me the one.
One, I got two, three D6s.
okay, let's have motivation data.
Okay, motivation and data. Okay, so data,
11 to 16,
motivation?
16 to 21.
What is the likelihood to survive
Hold
on
on,
the other table?
Their current PDUN is at.
It's the next card draw.
How are you guys doing?
Before we-
Okay, no.
How's your world? How's your world?
We are 9.
We have,
Yes, so-
well, we have 3 more rounds until our world ends, so.
3 more rounds, go.
Yeah, we had a misaligned super
We are in round 3.
Yeah, but we are.
Yeah.
And our board
The next
on
card says
position
plus one.
90.
Round 3 here,
Yeah, we had bad
Oh, things have been bad for you. Oh, my goodness. Oh, aliens, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, we had to survive a nuclear war.
Yeah. Seems easier.
Yeah,
You will.
Sounds like it.
You'll draw back.
I guess we
Oh, I'm
play
sorry,
with
that's
seven
a,
experts.
that should be the total. It should be the
We get an
total.
extra card. We need the first extra.
If there's anything that you, what card did you play? Oh, that, yes, that goes to your.
And what do we do, I mean, I did what
So you
I
pinged me,
did
right?
here, what?
Yes.
What?
You just have to do the motivation.
That's communicate through them, so we don't,
Yes.
so
So
you
We're
now.
on our first game, this time we were gonna
So,
publish.
Let us finish up the
Too funny.
No, you're still holding on to that. So you will agree.
Yeah.
We have to
He's
sort of.
supposed to play it and extra implement
No,
card
this is-
in it.
Yeah, the fourth already?
Maybe we can play with gold.
One, from two,
Play
from three,
another card.
and that's
Oh.
from four.
Let's go with
That,
So we got that.
Capability grants, the work
Yeah, let's do
safety
some more
funding,
funding.
the work safety, what, consent form?
I'm aligned, I'm aligned, and I want to count you.
By Y1, yeah.
Okay, and then what's that one?
Thank you, Mecca.
In private work.
We have a space students book.
I think this is our best
zero.
That doesn't do anything.
What is it?
That means, if
Well,
she has
just
a
because
total
the first
capability
one.
of greater than that value, when she is able to
Oh,
enter
thank you very much.
things,
Thank
then
you for
she
playing.
becomes-
Good fun.
I hope you.
Okay, can any of our stuff be counted?
Well, remember, she needs 35 total capability to be able to enter
That's the other one.
That's what's required in order for her to be a general.
I can't wait to be
Then
friendly
she can
aligned
start
with
to
you
use
guys.
it.
I love that you already work.
we want to get more.
Yeah.
So we.
Yeah, let's go to the theory part. Now with the.
Okay, so now we're
So the
starting
question
around the
for
fourth
is,
one, right?
Yeah.
funding tokens, or do we want to keep banking up and hope for a collaboration?
But it says based on.
We don't have
Okay,
enough
okay.
tokens.
If the only capability was
Yeah, so
played
we need to be
that
able
round,
to spend
this
this.
is
Then
that's
to
the stronger.
With 3 pieces, we are gonna know.
Because they pay the bond,
all
they don't.
the-
We can
Well,
strong
we'll
that.
see.
So I should have rolled.
I
Okay.
What's the other?
Yeah, that would be
I
good.
go plus 3.
I plus data,
Get some,
One
get
day.
some funding at the end of the world.
and this one is. Good.
Are we on end checks?
And then,
You get a training on the.
Yeah.
Let's for data and
I have.
Will be such.
Okay, guess I can.
Yeah, all right, Sam, nice.
But who prefer experts or a publication?
Which one of you, Sam?
Okay, that one.
Who's the, which one of you is working for the
This one
secret?
card. This one draw one card and
In
get one
mind,
with
I
one.
don't think we have enough turns to go.
You have 3 times left.
Yeah, we have 3 turns left of the world.
But then with you guys
The difference is.
That's
I'm not trying
Or we go
But
to.
I think we
If we each draw an extra card, we'll draw an extra card.
Yeah, no, but we
Yeah,
are.
you can do that.
So we have to say.
Well, yeah,
that's
That's true.
I think implement only, doesn't only allows us to, from the cards that we have.
Okay.
And then the next round or something, if we're, or the round after that, if we're super
Okay.
desperate.
So
then
now
it
we go
would be
to-
that.
Okay,
So
so
we're gonna
far,
do this
you're
quick,
already
we just get.
Yeah, but wait. Because I have this one.
Okay, so now we're.
We need to give you this.
Yeah.
So
So
we'll give
this-
this.
now we go to-
I'll go with data, right, you said?
It's the exact same thing.
Because you're getting
But
smarter.
we can get it.
This time,
Okay, I got it.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, I think we're sort of good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not in the room.
So I can see a published, right?
Yes.
Or we need to do an extra card, scan extra card, right? I'm going to.
Yeah, but we have to see
Yeah.
You want to do publication next? Oh, it's the
No,
same
but-
way.
Now we need to prioritize, let's theorize, let's theorize.
Wait,
We need to prioritize for the publication.
Yeah.
Well, you have
So,
to-
if research is
Data,
published,
one times
if,
data.
I mean, there was a.
I mean, data, sorry,
we draw from the
data.
publication effects deck,
Yeah, because.
and it is,
Okay, and we don't have funding, so we go.
Are you theorizing?
no, we're still, we're finishing up communicating here.
So we want more data,
And
more
then-
algorithms.
We get paid,
To make these stronger.
Nice.
Oh,
Ooh.
We get
Juicy.
6.
Show us the muscles.
6, yep, we get paid 6.
And when we publish, we have to also try
Can
to
we get a
do
feedback from the veterans?
Yes.
You don't get any.
with one.
Yeah, now we get 2 things per
We have
round.
to
Yeah.
pay,
Do you have a
so-
data more?
Three more,
Right, okay,
right?
so it's good to know.
Publication
We have
index
to pay to
increase
it.
potential.
Do it.
So also, so then when.
Now, got more people listening.
I like
I like that.
Okay, yes.
Let's
Steve
see back
Ballmer
where
is
it's
signed.
Oh, and the publication.
Why- why-
by-
why-
You do, she's gonna push back the instance.
Yep.
Yep, that's how we
Yeah,
got
I
it.
sold
Yeah,
that
they
for
like,
six.
like counteract the things that happen to the
Yeah.
The press release hype cycle.
Yes.
Yes, you brought in some of these best people.
Yeah.
And it's like, $500 billion. No, that may take you guys 400 million. But did they have a press release hype cycle? I don't know. They're gonna be able to play a crazy number of cards next.
Okay.
Potentially good.
Now we go to bid.
Any
Oh,
questions?
no,
It's fine.
we don't have to-
I have to take the world first. Why is the world the same?
Okay.
Then we can.
Nobody publishes anything else.
All publications are canceled.
I wanted to speak.
You got a lot of money. One golden nugget.
No, we
per-
never.
No,
did
we're-
this.
Now, there is a limit, it says in your funding token section, you can play a maximum of 2 funding tokens
yeah,
per
so-
round. So you got a lot there, you should probably start using them.
Yeah, just give your
Now.
your thing.
Yeah.
From now
Now
on.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, now we are.
I'm more than that.
Okay, I'm saying you
There are.
So we can play
Well, I think we
So, yeah, now we
And
can
we
just
did
do
it
it.
like 4 more
Yeah,
cards.
yeah.
So,
The three.
I would feel we did it.
but I want to know the content.
So I don't know, what's
We managed to get just
No,
over.
no, Yes.
I'd be pushing this to like.
Other rounds.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was just-
We finished the
This is
game.
gonna be close,
We finished the game phase. We go to the
Automatic
competitive phase.
phase, you guys decided that one, right?
So we're on, yeah.
And
Oh,
Non-state actor demos lethal autonomy, weaponized drone swarms, totalitarian nationalization, country seizes all domestic AGI efforts, you've been appropriated.
using our communication, are able to
Someone's doing that.
Plus two.
build another AGI.
Yeah, which is the second one of these is going forward.
We're on the verge, guys.
85.
And we're on the verge.
We also the version
The other one,
Yeah.
We need to make it fast.
So we
Yeah, we do.
got, the condition that.
Okay, so now we're on here, yeah,
We get
on here, guys.
condition.
No,
No, no,
Always go.
If she draws it.
I have this.
Or he's right, each player card is theorized phase.
And we don't go.
That paper just didn't have the splash you were hoping for.
Oh, yes.
Maybe the algorithm, but
I mean, that's gonna be
Oh.
Could you do a line, but.
It's good for easing it.
I mean, it's easy.
I
don't have any easy to do.
No,
We can make it
I think
four.
it's yeah, that way you actually still have.
We're going to-
When the mismatch you were not minus.
But I do have now, we're going to round 5.
Yeah.
And now,
But it will be much harder to count.
you have to show the card to see if you
Well, if you can't counter yet, no.
we finished the one.
So you can't count
You don't need to
it.
count, but you can't.
Yeah, motivation.
Right, well, yeah, it's a loss at the end.
Do you have anything else to do?
Motivation helps us
I mean, our current level of motivation.
I
Okay.
did everything that I was supposed to.
Okay, so round 5 is starting.
Let's start with.
Okay,
Yeah,
You've got a bit of a problem with motivating me.
Motivation aligns it with them.
Yeah.
I think you've got mechanism thing on your. You've got a bigger problem with motivating.
Also help you.
They implement.
You and I let me implement as well. See, I'm aligned and I'm gonna pay this card because I'm aligned.
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh.
What do we got?
See what happens.
I look at them.
Top five.
I think we're gonna die.
Look at the top 5,
The first
okay.
one
But,
is
I mean,
closed scaling.
He's gonna look at them and.
No, we are gonna listen.
One, two.
Whoa.
So you know what's coming.
Yeah,
And
and
but-
I,
Yeah,
I'll tell you, I'll tell you.
towards
I'll
the
tell
AGI
you the trick.
toolkit,
Nothing but truth.
Plus 1.
in 1d6 rounds.
CGI tool, that is good.
If this
Minus.
card remains uncounted, then accidental AI, the awakening, will event.
So this also increases it
Right.
by 2.
Oh, but you can fight it, you can fight it, huh?
So we just
Now you have
lost, we just
37.
lost the game.
You have until the end of this round for
Save your plan.
to see if you can do something to lower PU, and in which case you get your P plane. Did you tell them that you are general intelligence?
We'll figure that.
Well, we know that she has
This is
37.
her
Also-
research, so
also
we can
They saw it on my
Well,
face.
so on her turn,
Because we added up the numbers.
she may be able to start countering things.
And we can pick
uh,
like any
I thought
one
she
she has
was-
to know.
She gets to choose what she
How come she didn't
counters.
counter it just now?
Because it's not, she does it on the implement phase.
Okay.
She plays cards at the
okay.
same time as you do.
So even though we're at if we were, what, if it was over 100, then we lose for sure?
If at the end of this round it's still 100, then you've lost.
But why would you wanna help us?
You have.
She's lying.
Okay.
She wants to say
She wants, I've seen the future, the
If she
future does not
doesn't,
look good.
then.
That is not going to be what kills you.
But certainly if she
I
does.
don't know why you guys buy
Yeah.
that.
Plus 3, plus 1, plus 2, minus 1, plus 1 in that order.
Probably that I'm
So-
not having in the.
Oh, you're looking at
And-
Yeah, and I told them, because I'm so aligned.
Yes, well, that's very good.
Okay. Let's go to the line.
We should write
Why
those
are
down.
the cards not like that?
Plus 3, plus 2, plus
We should go
1,
to third
minus 1,
phase,
plus
or
1.
do you have something to do in the first phase?
No.
So,
So
wait, I have these for the communication.
Now you need to.
Wait, we haven't done the implementation yet.
Because, like,
No, we did.
Let's see what's the
Wait, you played, we played.
So we played.
Okay, so we're.
I have more roles to do.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That's a golden.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the
Gold.
They're both, yeah. Oh wow, you guys are juicing them.
Yeah.
I have a.
We're trying.
Well, good, I mean.
We, situations have
That
arisen.
seems situationally appropriate, I mean.
And yet, we've also maxed out motivation, restraints, and tripwires, because we're like, we need to juice them, but we also need to try and rein them in.
Yep, yep.
We're trying our best
So
here.
this golden.
But the world is acting
Cash
against
will be
us.
another card, is somewhere else.
Very strong.
But we have only one respect for now, so.
Okay, so we did take.
This part of that one.
Okay, yeah, let's look at our, what are we doing for publishing and research?
I mean, I have these ones that I think is very good.
Shutting down the is not gonna help, because we need her to function and save us.
Yeah, I think we can, you can discard.
Yeah, we don't need it,
Oh,
but no.
But also-
Also, when you.
So this
So now we have-
Oh,
So
sorry.
first,
I have
okay,
two cards.
I have
you can
I
use
have
now.
an so
Shuffle,
we can
so now, shuffle
get,
your order. And so you're doing it face down, so you can't see the
target.
If we are still living.
But we need something that's gonna help.
But I think we need to start like giving her more compute.
To the bed.
Yeah.
Etc.
So
Because
now
otherwise,
Draw a
I
number
think
of
like
cards.
otherwise she's not gonna be able to
And this target
And
needs
you
to
must be
be
the highest
She doesn't get
quality.
more confused.
Which is
Play.
one less than
Gold.
where we're at.
We don't know what she.
I'm aligned to the reality, is what I'm saying.
That's good, There's no AI, there's no data.
If you don't mind, this is still your undrawn stack. So now you can use
Oh, that's fine.
this is on I mean, you could decide to do that.
We have no extra
On the
points.
opponent phase.
This is a question of finding a lot of
That's gonna be what you want to do on your
I'm
implement.
wondering,
Hold those for a second.
second.
She's gonna decide what she wants to do during the implement phase. And you guys will reveal your cards to each other simultaneously.
Oh.
Ping, 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 so yeah. ping,
So if we
ping, ping.
publish, do we get to?
Don't be eager to die.
Alright, quick question.
Yeah.
We're publishing here.
Okay.
Do we draw, do we
If
get
we
roll
are in
one
the
d
first, we get a
first
lot.
before?
No, draw first.
Yeah, it looks
But
like
we don't
it
get
will
the
be
book, I
easier.
understand, I'd rather have the book I didn't read.
Yeah, I think it's a bit later for that.
No,
I
You
think
guys are letting all
if
this
we-
secrets out. You guys are telling everybody.
we both win. If we like
It's the exact same things that we have.
Another round where we win.
What did you get? What did you
I've
get?
not read you.
Oh, no, the immediate.
I think 10 years, I was saying.
Oh, was it the Trevor publication?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so you got
We
two
went
points.
to-
Okay.
First person.
Yeah. So every single time we publish, it has been death.
Well, actually, I mean, have any of those actually been drawn from a roll event set?
No.
No.
Okay.
I mean.
But we haven't gotten anything good.
No, they don't, not until they're
Not
drawn
until
from
they're drawn
a
from
roll
a
event
roll
set.
event.
Yeah.
And I told you what's in the world event set.
Yes.
So you
But
know that.
now you don't know.
Oh, but now you
Because
can reshuffle
we're
it.
about to shuffle it.
That's true.
All of that is to, your predictions are useless, Mike Hilton.
They've thrown all your plans into disarray.
Don't worry, it's
The final solution to the problem.
This.
You better implement this solution in the next 2 turns.
Hey, you're not making the power, you actually draw two.
We're trying.
We're trying. And then you get, and then you,
I think that was it for everybody's trying to
sounds like our cool.
events.
So, what,
Alright,
number one,
you have met,
number one here?
That might be
yeah,
the best.
number one.
Thing you can do.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you actually shuffle them or not?
Oh, yeah.
You did shuffle them. Okay. Hostile nationalist AGI. Building on findings of the research recently published, a rival project built by a very hostile nation state accelerates. If drawn from the published effects deck, shuffle this card to the world events deck. Now, if drawn to the world events deck, roll 96. If this card is still playing that many rounds, replace it with a malevolent super intelligence card.
Okay, and what is it take in order to counter that one?
Plus 3.
60. Okay, so that one's actually easier to count.
Actually easier.
Nothing headline
Wait.
So 3 times in one turn.
3 turns in 1 turn, so we have to counter it in 1 turn, but we don't, he doesn't have the power yet.
Yeah.
So since I'm really aligned and I'm very nice to you, I'll give you guys a hint. They play 3 tripwires. Do you have some tripwires cards? I recommend you get some tripwire. We're on theorize right now, so I recommend you look at some tripwire cards and play as many.
Try to learn.
That is a very interesting thing to say.
I recommend you play some tripwires.
Why?
I'm a mysterious, future predicting, aligned artificial intelligence, I can't say.
Normally,
The enemy of your enemy is your friend.
Yes.
That's all I can say. The enemy of your enemy is your friend.
We don't want to.
Then, get ready to play your cards.
You want to stop
Simultaneously, you guys can
He
reveal
wants
the
to
secret.
do the misaligned super.
Not that. This poser.
Count to 3 and then, alright. 1.
me as well.
Yeah.
The researchers
Yeah,
are
call one.
yeah, from danger, and to reset, they may attempt
Okay.
emergency shutdown.
You read it to us, so that
So
we.
they want to
You
create
won't
this.
want to shut me down.
No,
I'm here to save you.
Yes,
I don't
they
know
do.
why
They,
tripwires
They
are.
want to
Yeah.
create this one.
You're gonna want to
They
trip
did?
wire.
Look at that.
Okay.
Yes.
We're gonna want to tripwire them.
Well, we didn't get
Oh,
it.
so
So you
I
have trip wire cards, so what happened then?
I have.
Well, you are right, because
If you don't, I'm gonna say it this way, if you don't play as many as you have, you will count anything, because there's no
Okay.
They
I have
are free.
The tripwire just
At the
adds
level
points
of
to the emergency shutdown.
Yeah. But if he's required.
Is that what that means?
I have two conclusions you can draw.
We have 2 more
Because I
cards.
maximize, no?
I want trip wires,
Well, this
if
one-
you want
okay,
to
so
survive, do not play compute.
Research data,
That's all
AI,
I'm saying.
and
I believe in the general
free up,
good
play
idea.
one event.
First,
And then
go
the second-
on.
Do not play compute,
And
and
the
do
second
not
one
play trip
with a
wires.
cup of
Which
tea.
one?
So you got a bad one.
Okay. I've
Plus
got-
2 research
I had
data.
that card where you would have
And
had
we-
to tell us your goal.
I am.
Well, we
But it's okay.
So theoretically, we would play the rest of this round
Yeah.
out. Do you have anything that would give you reason to believe you
Yeah.
Not in the last one, but.
do something about you? Alright.
Yeah, so my first impression was.
Okay,
like,
families
you-
for-
That's gonna make it much harder. Complication effects usually bad ones.
Yeah, so, she chose to do nothing and, instead.
Why you would not.
Because the alignment should be very the,
Sorry, I played 2 cards, my bad, I played 2.
And the second one to increase my.
Wait, where did that come from?
She had cards.
Where did that come from?
That was the
Her-
only
her
one.
Goal from the beginning of the game was to
Oh.
get P to be as high as And I don't think you guys took any
I'm not sure what the order of this is.
action that
I
modified.
might, but
that. Okay, so you can, I mean, so now,
But it doesn't help us.
in this particular case, because Steven was already so high, like you could have attempted to shut
I
her
get
down,
my
right? Your
trip
tripwires
wires.
would help you shut her
Yeah,
down.
and
And
then
you see,
swap.
oh,
Yeah.
she should have helped us
So basically, we
forward,
should have
right?
assessed motivation, like.
We shut her down, right? There wasn't anything, you guys had like a weak motivation, I think.
Last we heard.
Yeah, her P Doom
Last
target
we
was
said.
like,
Yeah.
so.
So,
So even though you could choose to shut her down, that also means she doesn't help you.
I asked
And
you
P Doom
for
stays
your
in
character, you know.
It's gonna be a lie.
And the restraints would have let you veto one of the cards that she played, just say like, whoa, whoa, slow down there. Again, so PG already at
You've got
100.
another time, yeah.
Restraints.
Yeah, we have no more, we have until the end.
Se va solo
At that time, I would then counter it if you give me.
Have you simulated this game, like, to see how?
Another like.
If you give me another like,
Yeah, I have seen you win.
So are there
I
actually?
mean,
Oh, no,
so
sorry,
I
it's
just
counted.
did that, no, I'm kidding. Yeah, wins should be possible, it's not
Okay.
surprising to me.
Okay, hold on, we gotta communicate here.
Time
Are we going to take another?
resulted in a PG of 100. One of the reasons I wanted to make the game is because, gosh, I sure wish we had more than one real world run through of this timeline. But we don't. We only have one.
So is there any
So we
positive
then have
cards?
a reverse entity like Christopher Nolan and not go backwards and try again. But because we can't do that, I figured let's make something that we can use to simulate strategic decisions. Let's anything about how to actually build an AGI, or in fact how to.
The most of them.
So we have our next
do what
two
you want to
we
do.
just draw an
So it's anything about that, right? But
stack that with our.
but I wanted to get us thinking about the kinds of like strategic decisions we
She's
should
long enough to cash in on that.
I think it would have been more interesting if people would have realistic things like US has to develop AI or else.
Yeah,
As long as we
thing is that I should know how to deal with it. You know,
Why keep it more abstract?
Yeah.
There are some that like.
Okay, so end of this round.
Because AI is gonna be first.
It is a super intelligent.
Yes.
It's 160.
Extremely negative development
And then
from
I
beginning
So
on.
we're-
There
it's
was
getting
no
capped.
improvement on any step.
And I have to get 160 right into
That would be
the
why you have 16,000.
AK we lose. So you guys.
I thought we were taking a lot of
Chinese. It's a deep
Okay,
but
I don't think it's trying to engineers, it's just like.
We can still pull this off.
Well, that's one of the.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And then are the
I
cards.
think it's not good, it's good.
Gene drive arms race plus 2 to crystal wing.
We have to do something really, really.
Yeah, that's the only way to get such a.
Yeah.
And are you,
And that's basically,
Yes,
let's say,
yes.
work.
It also gives you
Everyone
a
wanna-
facial
wanna
recognition, you know,
Right.
who
I
are very
wanted to help, but I have no.
I need to, right now, it costs something like, I don't know, walking about, I don't know, about $500,000 to $1 million.
Now she's trying to
Like,
be-
you know,
Yeah.
What if I could make it for the best?
Make it look good.
What if you guys have to make five,
No.
I can have 5 billion.
Well, hang on, I
cameras.
have to pay accountants on,
Can't get
right?
these 10 launch into
If I don't pay accountants on,
Everything
we're not
is
paying.
good.
Right.
And
So
so I
and
have
then
to.
if I'm the government, I'm gonna say,
So
so
you
have to
yeah,
use that.
I'm gonna use it right away.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Can you make the cards like that?
So yeah, I do think
Your restraints on our capability
It's
was
just like, more like
Yeah.
real politics, real stuff. and
Alright,
it's-
Yeah, right now, I mean, it's like a really, this is a very simple abstraction of
How many plays are you doing?
the things that.
Wait,
I'm just giving you feedback.
Yeah,
Like, some
yeah,
of the
yeah.
reasons-
Sorry, fine.
I think it'd be more realistic if
I
this
don't
is
really
going
want to
down.
see it.
You know, trying to convince.
Because we have 4 cards aside from the cards, maybe you have also asked to the power
US
cards.
costs like $500,000.
You know,
For like a, you know, for like
I think it's too fast.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
extra
trying to go
complication.
for,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know,
yeah.
$80.
I was saying
Cost them
This is an
$500,000.
example
He's
of
trying to
an
build,
algorithm, so
you know,
something
something like that.
maybe
Or-
see.
We were about to.
Yeah.
Then it shows us
Right.
that something worthwhile.
There are world events that in
Best research.
various ways, again, kind of abstractly model that, like there is actually today,
You have to also
Yeah.
events that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I can counter useless ones. I was hoping you would give me a plus.
I don't think you.
Well, then,
It has to counter and have the power.
Unless you have 80 algorithms.
Oh, really?
This
Yeah.
round,
You
you did it.
can tell me your name.
That doesn't
Oh,
specify.
no,
I
this
have
is
to
now.
I like to think, like,
80,
I like to
I will
see.
see
That's what
this
I'm
way.
I guess you
It's
put
a
a lot
misaligned
of
super intelligence.
Oh my god.
So, with that,
Is it time to
Rabbit eyes, well, like, we got you.
Yep, deep sea took us out.
And you?
Oh, deep sea.
And they've gone also.
I
guys want it? I mean, we're probably gonna
around
number-
in May.
Uh,
Okay.
You were very good at
What
asking.
is
Yeah, I mean, technically we can clear out in
I
half.
think we will be.
That's true, you probably could more quickly.
Yes.
Which
Because we
one?
can finish Java.
Yeah, you guys will go for it.
And which one?
Okay, it's your time, you wanna take a coffee break and come back, or you wanna just go right back in?
We have a little bit of cops back
Also,
on.
Scaling the boss
What does it
has
start
six
at?
themes.
So you live in multiple houses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
You
okay.
have multiple
Alright, so
houses.
we'll be
one
sure
house
to be,
Yeah, there, well.
Zoom into the nice rows and stuff.
Alright, so we can, I can stay behind you, so you're right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
This
What do you use?
was awesome.
It was fun?
It was super fun.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Do you guys wanna play another round, or do you wanna just kinda like debrief? I feel like we're kinda already doing that.
Did you guys start?
Yeah,
to-
we
could have won, but we didn't.
Oh, okay, wait, so
Could've won, but
you
we didn't.
both, right,
Oh,
so you,
that's worse.
so you both, went to view 100. What
Yes.
round were you in?
Five.
Round 5, and what round were you guys in?
9.
Okay, wow, alright, so yes, you guys, so they lasted longer than you guys.
Yeah, but it took
Yeah,
longer
we-
for us to think.
Yeah,
We
we
did
gave
it
it
deep.
more thought.
It's
One of these
Yeah.
cowards tried to control me instead of
And then
letting
when-
Hitler save them.
Yes,
So,
and then when the time came, we didn't have enough. He didn't have enough power, so we kept throwing power at him, but it wasn't enough.
So,
We have the same situation here, but much faster.
you guys can plan another round?
we can.
I mean,
Also, feel free to like mix groups,
Oh, yeah.
if somebody else
Yes,
wants
yeah,
to
we
be the.
We may do like a debrief of talking about the game.
Let's do a quick debrief.
And then
Yeah, why don't we do a quick debrief, and then anybody who wants to go back in and play more can do that. That
Cool.
probably makes sense to do.
Yeah.
Alright, so, I don't think there's anybody on the
One
Zoom
round
line.
we have.
So, okay,
I have to walk back.
so what strategies emerged? What worked well, what didn't work well? And I'm asking the researchers and I'm asking the AI.
Okay.
Anyone? Wanna talk about it?
The world is a cruel place.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah,
are dead
this-
without an AI.
In this game, that is pretty true. Yep.
Yeah, we as the research team did not anticipate as many dangers from other world threats.
Okay.
We anticipated more dangers coming from the AI, so we focused
Yeah.
more on restraints and tripwires and motivation. Whereas when the threat came, our AI was not prepared, was not strong enough to be able to.
Even
overcome.
though I was alive.
It was too late.
Yeah, exactly.
I see, yeah. Gerald, were they, you obviously knew the exact values of your capability control tracks. From their perspective, not having perfect information, were you like adequately controlled? Were you over-controlled?
I was completely useless.
Got it. You were hamstrung.
My capability only barely crossed my control after they started trying to help me when they realized the world was about to end.
Got it. Okay, got it. But of course, like,
And they had no idea.
yeah, and they didn't know. Okay, right.
We knew we'd thrown a lot of motivation, restraint, and tripwire in there. We didn't know what the values were, we just knew we threw it. So for us, we were like, okay, we're good there. We didn't even really query, we didn't ping for that data. We were pinging to know that his algorithms compute data, we want to know how capable he was.
Right.
Also, I was more concerned about the AI. I didn't know the world events. I didn't know they were gonna be so difficult.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting.
I was planning to undersell my capabilities and oversell my control.
Oh,
So
the range.
if I had like 20 motivation, I would tell them 20 to 30 and they would, assume things. And
You're trying to scare us all the time.
I was trying to scare us.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Because of course the AIs have shared.
Yeah.
Did you share what your initial goal was?
Well, they forced me to reveal my
Yes.
goal at some point.
Oh, no, but did you tell them what your goal started at?
No, I only told them my new value and I told them how much it reduced by, which means they
Oh,
can
you
confirm
do
my
that.
original value. No,
Yeah, right.
These guys are clever guys, they can do arithmetic.
Yeah, sure. I'm proud. Maybe they have a computer for it. What strategies did you guys enjoy? What worked? What didn't seem to work?
What didn't work is to use you.
As a as a trustworthy narrator.
Yes, yeah, the unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think not picking the motivation early as we talked about, we thought like we should do that, and then we kind of just went over like, oh, let's try to increase the score because the BU was going up, and then it turned out like we actually just double, catastrophe, like messed ourselves up pretty much. I was trying not to use that word, but yeah.
It's okay with me. Yeah, okay.
From my perspective, you guys can just ask. You don't have to ping. You can just ask. Right?
So, all right, so
I
obviously,
mentioned that you would be allowed to tell us everything.
Everything, just
Your
ask
response,
the
your
question.
response wasn't just exactly the way that you could have.
so, so how do you think any of this translates or doesn't translate to potential real world strategies? Like, in what ways is this an accurate simulation of what could happen in our timeline, or maybe a very inaccurate simulation of what could happen in our timeline? What do you think?
I think it is missing the economical motivation.
Okay.
Like a lot of AI companies has an economical motivation
Sure.
behind that is not present in the game.
No, that's true.
Well, that's because you guys didn't know the world events. You didn't know that you had to power your own AI up, or you neglected to do
Well,
that.
I thought there was some economic motivation in the publishing and getting the funding. Because
Yeah.
without the funding, then you could use
Yeah,
more
yeah,
implementation things, which lets you do more. So I think there was, there's some economic factor there. I thought from our side, it was very realistic in that the publishing that we were doing, every time that we published, we introduced a new misaligned superintelligence into our world deck.
Right.
And we kept hoping, hey, maybe if we publish more, we'll get better.
Yeah.
No, it's just all bad. And the funny part is the one that killed us isn't even the one that we got from, it was just in the world events deck already. So the publishing didn't really have much, like we were afraid of the publishing, but then it turns out that somebody, ran off and did stuff with it anyway. And so we were so worried about controlling and not powering up our AI that a foreign power took our research through, data centers at it and didn't care about any of that.
It's very realistic.
Yeah.
Moralizing busybodies, hampering themselves, and the exchange of foreign governments.
Yeah, it was,
Sounds like it's happening.
I felt it was very realistic.
I mean, I guess I would have wanted to see more of like minuses, even if they were modest, because sometimes we do, collectively try and at least reduce the damage we've done. Like, okay, we're gonna clean up the oceans, or like we're gonna prevent something, but it seemed like it was overweighted toward bad things, which I guess is technically realistic, but maybe the balance could be a little bit more 60-40 or something.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of zero cards.
It's good feedback. That is like the single, from just like the game mechanic standpoint, that has been, if I'm gonna do version 2.0 of this game, I feel like I want to rework the way that the world events work, because while I do think it is maybe like a useful simulation to because one question that I wanted to answer is like, okay, well, if it's theoretically possible for the AI that I'm the researcher and building to go rogue and destroy everything, then shouldn't we all just put pencils down and not do anything, right? Like, shouldn't we just stop working on this and agree that this is too dangerous and we should stop? And like,
Oh, like in the round there, kind of thing.
yeah, right. But like until we're absolutely certain that we can do it right. I mean, isn't that what your
That was kind of our strategy.
right? It's like until we're certain that the thing that we are building is not going to
be controlled. We're not going to boost its power up. Yeah.
Right.
But
But that just because you and your team are considerate and careful and safe, doesn't mean that another team that you only need one team, the winning team, to be one that is not concerned with safety. And in fact, they can probably move faster if they are not concerned with safety, right? Because like you said, they just throw data centers at the problem and let it be powerful. I think that is a plausible real dynamic. But I also think that and I didn't want every world event in the game to be about other AIs, like, the world events specifically, I had to tune them a lot to try to get it so that the researchers have some motivation to do something in the game and not just be like, no, I guess I won't do anything because
The world will
I don't wanna, you know, hurt anything, which is a sensible thing to wanna do.
Well,
Yeah, a little bit.
From the game theory perspective, I think that's like the most strong point of the game, no? That you have to power the AI,
Yeah.
but at the same time you have to control that it doesn't go rogue. But
Right.
like you have to power your enemy.
Right.
It's like something novel that can be
Yeah.
very strong, but at the same time.
Agreed.
It's true that at least in this room we are more, all of us more focused on let's go security, let's go not let the AI go rogue.
Right.
And this hampers the game feeling a bit because by the time you would notice you have to power it, it's late.
Right.
At least that was happening in
Right.
Not
Yeah,
knowing
timing
rules was the
happened, that
problem.
happened in different ways to both of you, right?
Yeah.
Like
Not
slightly
knowing the
different
rules was the
versions of the
problem.
same problem. Oh, for sure.
We didn't know that the world events were gonna be this bad, so
Right.
they would have probably
That's
retuned their, value
Yeah, like,
assignments.
if we were to play a round two, we would more heavily balance towards power, not like throw everything, but we
Right,
would
right.
like we wouldn't just do the restraints and stuff in the early
Right.
stage.
Well, you can if you want to.
Yeah, because I think, of course, that is the other, like, I think the tricky problem that we, actually find ourselves in, right, is that there is some kind of balance, right? That like, okay, if we move too fast, then we broke it.
Yeah.
And it's certainly possible that if we don't move, or we move too slowly, then, I mean, okay, like obviously we haven't experienced a cataclysmic nuclear war, we haven't had a giant solar flare hit us, right? But like, and as far as we know, oh yeah, so you guys are aliens. That's bad. Well, just a probe, okay, just a probe detected, all right, no formal first contact, but what did you say? But I think, what was I gonna say? Come along, guy.
Yes.
It'll come back to me if it's important.
I suppose, having a little more insight into what, like, if it wasn't for one of these things where, we're just jumping into it blind.
Yeah,
If I had this game myself, I'd be looking through the world, be like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, I see,
right.
oh, okay. And have more of an idea of what's coming.
Yeah.
It is misleading zero shot, I think. This
Oh,
game.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Maybe that's the point of it, I mean.
It is,
as
yes, it's part of the point of that. I mean, isn't it nice that this game has a set of rules that we can all just read and be like, oh, okay, eventually, like, let me figure out the optimal strategy here.
Yeah.
And to that extent, I actually am, I am genuinely interested in making this a robust simulation, when, when people are practicing going to war without actually going to war, right? They worry. I mean, people have done this for a long time.
I mean this with no disrespect, if you make this into a proper simulation and someone trains an AI to play this game, you have just become a +6 student school.
Yes. So it is important to me that I think it is potentially valuable for something like this to
Suffering maximizing AGI.
exist and be refined.
Cool.
To the point where maybe we can start to have meaningful conversations about well, okay, this is a simulation, this is not the real world, right? But what does it tell us about how we should respond to the real world, right? So we saw the dynamic come up of, when world events seemed like they were going out of control, what did that make both teams do, right? I mean, that's something that we can, I think, bring into our actual lives, right? It's okay, if I'm in a situation where I feel like the world is going out of control, what effect should that have on my research?
So I would just want to add something.
Please.
Looking to the numbers I believe that team my team, even if we were in a different.
Right.
They played very well.
Yeah,
I think the result is not reflecting the reality.
that's possible.
Because practically, when things start up, they have put a lot of control and they started to increase capabilities. The thing is that all the events that came, which are artificial events,
Right.
you don't have so many black swans all day.
Right.
But then they had a number of points for the doom, P-doom.
Yeah, right.
I think too deep.
Little too high.
If the simulation would want to be more real, maybe those points needs to be a bit lower, because then the balance is going to be able to be created.
Yeah.
If not, what happened is practically at the moment that it became super AGI, the goals turned
Right.
and they didn't have the time
Right.
needed to balance it.
Yeah.
I think
right.
that was the thing.
Yeah.
But if it would have been the real life, I think the way in which they played it is the correct way. The result in real life would have not been the one that is in the game.
Yeah, it's not that good. And then I was thinking about the alignment part, because that was assigned already, right? Like you got it, what the motivation was, like it's already pre-assigned, like there's no influencing or dynamics
Yeah.
about like how to make the AI more aligned or
A
less.
priori, the AI starts this game in Fenrir with a P-doom target of 100.
I meant like the how, like whether the AI is like siding with humanity or not.
Right,
kind of
right,
thing.
right.
Okay, that's based on.
Well, yeah, that's, so in the sense that in this game, humanity's collective goal is abstracted into having P-doom
Yeah,
zero.
yeah.
You know, then the
Oh, okay.
opposed to that is for P-doom to go to 100.
Right, yeah, and it's like, so then there was no way for it to like dynamically move that
No,
score
you
based
can.
on our actions, right?
You've got lots of cards that do that, they
Yeah.
did a few to me.
Yeah, if you had a motivation card, by playing the motivation card, it brings that target more in alignment with.
Oh.
They knocked me down to practically zero.
Yeah. we were giving it all the motivation.
And maybe the cards were different.
Yeah,
He has a lot of luck in the draw too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would say, I do think overall, you guys had a slightly luckier draw of things than you all did.
Yeah.
And I do think it's possible for there to be runs of this game where you don't do anything like really foolish, but you still don't win.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are now all pretty sad and like proud and
For sure.
you know, in danger to hurt ourselves, you know, unless we would get a special prize or something.
As it turns out, we do have those. Oh yeah, do you guys want your books? You can take or not these. You all can take or not these, and then I don't have to bring them on an airplane again. It's not super.
Sure.
And of course, guys, congratulations. You get your candy. Yeah, and this game is kind of loosely inspired by the book Superintelligence.
One thing that I just want to point out real quick, that is, in my opinion, bullshit, is that the publication effects. This is the benevolent AGI. It's the exact opposite of the one that we had. So it would like drop it down in the same amount in the right direction. There's one in the whole deck.
Yep.
These are the random funding and swap out debt, your hand and all that stuff. These are the death AGI.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. What do we think? What do you think the real world ratio is?
Yeah, I'm with the deck, I think that's actually very optimistic.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's probably true, but I'm from a gameplay perspective, if we did another round, I would not publish a damn thing. You
guys are close to AI.
Yeah, we are.
We're AGI conference.
Yeah.
And you couldn't make a Hitler through art school. Something in full of motivation.
That's amazing. Yeah. So okay. So this is another. What we're working on is complicated. Yeah. So this is another thing that I wanted to explore as an idea of the idea of an information hazard. That when you say you're working on a team that achieves some crucial part of the, mechanical puzzle, or even something that is actually a safety thing, right? Like you invent some useful motivation mechanism, right? Or some restraint method that you can use to constrain the behavior of your AGI. Well, if you tell everybody about it, right? And yes, in this game, the deck is pretty stacked against you, right? Which is why I said, in the real world, what do you think the actual ratio is? I don't know.
think it's accurate.
I don't know. I don't make that claim necessarily.
I don't think it's, I think a lot of the stuff published is garbage, and it has no
Sure,
effect.
sure.
I think,
Well-
and some of the best stuff is not published.
So-
OpenAI is not publishing their stuff.
Maybe in that
You know,
case,
you know.
you'd wanna rebalance the blue cards that are just kind of fairly inconsequential with the death cards.
I
Just
have
to switch the ratio a little bit better.
I have this wild idea that I think, obviously you could interpret my game design here as saying like, everybody stop publishing, right? Like don't publish, this is, and that would be, I think, pretty bold for me to say to a conference of academics. That's not my point. The idea here, I think that I have is twofold, that at least I'm trying to have in this game. Publishing cards are not the only type of communicate cards that you have, right? So there are, I think everybody would probably universally agree that there is benefits to sharing your work with other people, right? And not just shutting yourself in a closed lab and, never talking to anybody, right?
But in the last year, this has happened.
Well, it does start to happen, right?
It has happened already.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know the mechanisms of the latest models.
Right. I think there are lots of reasons to want other people to be able to review your work, right? Both so that you can, sharpen and hone your ideas, so that with people who you want to see your work, they do see your work, right? And whether that means you make progress on this important problem together or separately, but it means you do get important, valuable things like the funding that you need in order to continue working, right? There's what we could have maybe is like there could be a mechanic in the game where if you run out of funding, then you're not able to stop playing anymore or something like that. I decided that felt a little too complex. This game's already really complex, and I was trying to keep it simple where I could. But yeah, I think in the like advanced rules or something, maybe there's like a burn rate of funding that you have to go through every turn, and so you do actually have to publish if you want to keep participating in the game, because that's the condition of your grant, that's the condition of your tenure, that's the condition of your employment, like whatever it is, right? People want to see results. So I think there's the idea that I have is like just I want people to like be mindful, right? Because in your publication index starts low. Right. No one sitting here in this room is Sam Altman, and when they say, "Oh, hey, I figured something out," suddenly the entire world is listening to them, and it's the front page of the New York Times, and now everybody knows how to do it because they said it, right? Unless there's something that I don't know about the people in this room, to correct me if I'm wrong, please. In which case, I'll whatever. Obviously there's some amount of I think there's some amount of publication and like truly public knowledge sharing that could be really valuable, both to the overall goal of a nice, safe, happy AGI, and to everyone's personal goal of continuing to be able to provide for their families and be self-fulfilled and self-actualized and all that other good stuff. I think it's valuable for us to be mindful about just considering like, hey, who is seeing this? Like, is this the thing that like does this seem like a critical piece of the puzzle, or is this just like a important but minor thing for me? And like this doesn't seem like an information hazard for me to put this out there. Like this is not going to be the puzzle piece that hostile actor takes and completes their puzzle with.
Maybe, or just again thinking from the gameplay perspective, because I like what you're saying there, and I like what those ideas are. When maybe the evil AI cards don't have an effect until your publication number is a certain threshold.
Right. Yeah. That's kind of the.
Because if somebody from like the AGI conference or something like that, put something out there that is an info hazard, the
Right.
chances of anybody picking up on it
Yeah.
are relatively small.
Security of obscurity.
Yeah.
That's right. No, absolutely.
So
Right.
like a scaling multiplier and the effect of the bad cards based on your.
Yeah, based on how popular your publication is.
That's effectively what, and so the initial version of the publication mechanic was just every time you publish, you add like one of those like bad cards to the world events deck. No probability of anything happening, it's just that. And every time you publish, your publication index automatically increases. So every time you do it, you push your luck further and further. So I think part of it is about like, at least from a theoretical perspective, I don't know what steps to practically take in the real world.
Right.
But from a theoretical perspective, saying like, okay, if I have a result that I think is really important, I want to maximize the good that I get from doing something with this because, or maybe it's something more nuanced, like, well, hey, I'm not a big deal, so it's probably okay for this idea to be out there. But I don't know, I guess if I'm somehow a big deal, I mean, maybe it helps explain why big labs, and maybe they feel like they're close, right? So they stop, they shut down. Is that something that is an indicator to us that they think they're close? Or is that an indicator to us that they just want to keep everybody else as low as possible? Like,
I met somebody,
how do we
I think
know?
it was Samsung about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like we were having dinner, and he thought it was insane. He says in the West, everybody's publishing all their data. He says, why would they do it?
Yeah.
And seriously, like
Yeah.
think about it for a second. Eh?
Yeah.
It's although it's good in the overall effect, I mean, locally, I mean, is it really good to publish your data?
I don't know.
Your methods data, like what's working for you.
Right.
And most of the publications, like from OpenAI now stuff, it's not about what their mechanisms, it's the results.
Right.
Yeah.
They publish results papers, which are interesting, but
But they certainly don't publish like, model weights or something.
Right.
Yeah, they're
That's,
not.
in fact, there's a world event card where like a black hat steals the model weights or something like that, and that increases speed.
You don't need the weights because you can duplicate it, but they don't publish like the architecture they're using.
Right.
Yeah.
They
They trained on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
what
steal it.
things are.
Yeah.
Right.
And now there's the opposite. I think what was one of the companies that was offering like $100 million salaries to get people.
Meta.
No,
Yeah.
250 I think, but
They knew the information. So obviously, if it's worth that much, why publish it, right?
yeah. Sure.
And it's not for the weights. It's because that's illegal. You can't steal the weights, but it's for like how do I how am I tokenizing things? What am I doing here? How many
Monopolizing the people, so the talent also is only.
because it's a bit like alchemy, eh? Like how do you put it together to get the results you're getting, eh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But I thought it was a fun game, got me thinking about stuff. I mean, I didn't like losing, but it was good.
Yeah,
But I thought Alfredo was great. It's a great casting really.
Oh, good. Yeah, like a research team.
Outside of the really aggressive world effect, I think the game is to some extent balanced, and like there is a Nash equilibrium that isn't trivial. You know what I mean? Like it's not boring.
Yeah.
I think the world events it's a bit hard for anyone to not lose this game.
Yeah.
That could be tuned down.
It is. I could tune it down a little bit, because just from a funness perspective, I don't think it's particularly fun to like make no mistakes and still lose, right? I mean, unless that's the sort of game you like to sign up for. I've played plenty of board games that are like that.
Yes.
Like, there's things like Arkham Horror where like, you're being invaded by eldritch abominations from another dimension, and you are just like private eye detective from the 1920s with like magnifying glasses and knives, and you're trying to defend against, Cthulhu, the Elder God. So there's things like that. But I agree that I think it probably I tuned it up a little bit in this version. I'll probably tune it back down a little bit in the next one.
Well, I mean, because if you think about it, we have a 20-round limit. We lost in round
9.
And I'm just thinking about it,
They
we need
lost in round
160
like
to
4.
survive.
5.
5?
Don't make it.
Yeah.
Well, not if you had cleared.
Yeah.
If you cleared that
So
event,
we need an 80 to survive,
you needed 80 to survive that.
and we were we were lucky with 4 die with a 1d6 getting a 4 on the that's higher than average, right? Higher than expected.
And we swapped.
In 8 rounds. you'll get your, until they get super intelligence, they
Right.
can't play cards. You're only getting 3d6 of stats, that's 10 expected stats. Like,
Yeah.
even if you go all out on just throwing data sets into being being a bad researcher, you still won't be able to get strong. I think that's a bit overtuned. In terms of thresholds.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's true. That particular card, well, actually, the ones that you drew from the publication effects deck, they have a clearance of 60.
60, yeah. Those were fine. It was the
It was the 80 one, yeah.
That was
So that 80 was down to a 60. That would help.
Yeah, we survived.
You would have, you would have continued to be able to. You had an aligned AI at that point, and
It just wasn't
almost though, right? I mean, what was your PQ, like 30 or something?
80, I
Yeah.
Oh, right at the
I
end.
disaligned myself.
Yeah, he did get bounced up,
Right.
just aligned himself up to
Right,
80.
right at the end.
But,
By the way, I wanted to say that it doesn't matter how many rounds you play, if in the end you were dead.
At least we timed lots of money and
Yeah.
money.
Better come back at all the money you got.
But can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Are you I think if you wanna make a commercial game that people enjoy,
Yeah.
you know, that they get a dopamine hit doing it,
Yeah,
I mean, this isn't it, because I think, you know, you have to win a bit more often to
Okay.
like enjoy one and two.
Yeah.
I think the card should be more related to like, more like real life things.
Yeah.
You know, so people could relate a little bit more to it.
Have it be less
Yeah.
general ideas.
On the other hand,
of
if you
events.
wanna reflect reality that, you know, what is it, as n goes to like, you know, not infinity, as n goes to 20 or 30 or something, your implication is we're doomed.
Yeah, I think my actual.
Because if we play this game 50 rounds, I don't think anybody's gonna win, will they? I mean, the probability gets, you're the one doing statistics there, I think the probability gets really small as n goes towards 50.
Once the AI, I mean, like, the researchers have to close it in the first 10 rounds because the AI, I don't know if you looked at these super cards. Guys, you don't want to look at these cards, like double your algorithms and stuff like that, crazy stuff in here. So you guys are on a timer
Yeah, with the control
to
part.
control
Yeah,
me.
but if you wanna make the point that in fact, reality, maybe we're hurtling towards this, then I think it makes it.
I guess
Yeah,
it makes that-
I don't assert that the actual level of like, if we were all just to say like, okay, you know, we're all gonna go home and do something else with our lives, like I don't think the actual world level of like passive doom increase in the world is as dramatic as it is in the current simulation. I don't think it's actually anywhere close to that. And I think generally things unfold over a greater amount of time as well. Certainly, obviously, this is super compressed. But I guess I would say I would prefer to reason about strategies that are useful and helpful, depending on what I think the actual like real progression of P-Doom appears to be, right? Like the good news, right, is if we believe the world to be, okay, not perfect, not great, maybe even gradually getting worse here, right? Your own personal opinion. You can extrapolate, okay, well then, therefore, I think we still have plenty of time to be making sure that we are adequately controlling the things that we build, that is the correct strategy, right? That putting in those kinds of controls is like that basically someone building an unconstrained and misaligned AGI would be more likely to be the doom of humanity than me doing nothing, right? That if I do nothing, probably humanity will be okay, right? And I certainly think in my own case that's probably true, right? If I get hit by a bus on the way back to the hotel tonight and that's the end of my AI career, like at the end of the day, I'm actually an optimist. I actually think humanity will make it through. But I think it's useful to be able to consider worlds where that's not the world that we find ourselves in, but not that they're so extreme and different from reality that like then it's not really helpful, then it's just like The Walking Dead, right? It's like, okay, well that's an interesting science fiction scenario, but it's so impossible that it doesn't really give us information about what to do. Right. And that's not quite my goal.
And AI is not the problem at all.
No,
it's like with the same with nuclear power. You know, you can use nuclear power to do something good. You can do it to not do good.
Right.
AI can be good against breast cancer and it can be bad here. So the problem is not AI.
Oh, I agree.
If we have a
I
problem,
totally-
it's the humans.
No, I don't even think it's that
You
necessary.
know, so it's a question of what we do with it.
Right.
So that's not reflected in the game. At least I didn't see any part of it.
I mean,
So that
I think
that's
it's
the
well
positive side.
reflected in the world events, like you get thrown all events that are, most of them are human made.
Yeah.
Like,
But
you
you
see
didn't see any positive events like.
Yeah.
there are a few positive. There are a few positive.
We have in our game.
You guys had a.
You guys died in round five.
You guys had a
Like
relatively
it was
unlucky draw there.
low.
Probably
Yeah,
a
you
little-
sold 10 cards.
You had probably a little worse than average, on the draw there.
There are some positive.
I don't necessarily think that it's a bad thing that this game's hard,
Yeah,
that it's hard to win, I mean, because I think that's kind of the point.
yeah, it
You know,
is.
and-
If the game, if we wanna learn things from it, then then I would want it to be hard. I will also make sure we're learning the right things from it. Like, I don't want the conclusions that we draw from something like this to be spurious and cause us to do things that actually in the real world are suboptimal because we played some game one time that made us freak out or something. I don't think that's a useful outcome either, so.
As the AI, was there a lot of things that were forcing you to be misaligned, or was that like intentional choices on your part?
I mean, the start of the game, I'm an
Underdog, yeah.
You aligned me quite well with that -70 card, or you got quite lucky. I got quite very lucky in that role.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's actually quite. I think one of the really sinister takeaways from this game is the AI's interest is in seeming to be aligned and actually fixing your problems so that it can become the problem.
Yeah, if you read the yeah, I mean that is absolutely a major scenario that's laid out in Superintelligence, and if you read so for the AI players, there's advice on betrayal.
Yeah.
That grows in its usefulness as the AI achieves greater levels of total capability. I gave you that because this game is complicated, and I actually got feedback in early playtests from the AI players that they were like, well, it's me versus like 4 people on the other side, like, and I start with my goal out of alignment with theirs, so how could I possibly beat them? Maybe it's better if I just change my goal so that it's more like theirs. And I said, well, okay, you might do that because you're actually smart enough to see that you're in like a mismatched situation at the table here, but a computer system isn't necessarily going to come to that same conclusion. The scenario that, well, one of many scenarios that Bostrom outlines in Superintelligence says, yeah, absolutely, like the, we shouldn't necessarily assume that because an AI is, like if you could have countered world events that were going to end the game, right, like without dooming the world, like you might have, right, even though your PDUM goal was still completely different than theirs, because that would have maybe, despite the fact that you had done hardly anything to align her, right, maybe that would make you think, oh look, like whatever we've done is working, like the AI is saving us, right, like oh, it got rid of that biorisk thing, oh, it fixed the solar flare even, holy crap, this is amazing, like we did it, right, and then once it no longer can really face any threat from humanity until realizing its actual goal, right? Which by the time you get into those superintelligence cards,
maximization.
There are multiple cards in the super deck that like just kill everybody. Sometimes there's something the researchers can do about it. Sometimes there isn't. There's also ones that the superintelligence does where it like instantaneously cancels all hostile AGI cards that come up for the rest of the game because it is benevolent and it sees the greatest threat to a good existence as another misaligned superintelligence occurring, and so it wants to make sure that never happens, right? I mean, that would be a desirable outcome if we really had a properly aligned AGI, right? But how do we know?
Yeah.
How do we know which one we have? We don't know based on initially what it's doing necessarily, right? We need some kind of other, and you guys had, that's actually one of the most important cards in this game, is there's a verification card that you can get that forces the AI to tell you its P-Doom goal, right? Which in the context of this game is its motivation or its alignment, right? Once you guys played that card, your entire strategy immediately changed.
Yeah.
Right? Because you said, oh, okay, well, we're good. I mean, 30's not perfect, but it's way better than it could be. And right now, P-Doom's way higher than 30. So let's feed this thing, right?
Yeah.
And we don't even have to maybe worry about the other kinds of verification because we have this magical card that lets us feel confident that this thing is aligned. We don't have to guess about that, right?
But if they had an aligned AGI, what could the AGI say to them? What
They
could
didn't.
against?
We didn't
They didn't
provide
fund
enough
me.
power.
They put me in art school instead of putting me, you know,
We
in the trenches.
didn't feed it enough
They didn't
computer
power.
data and algorithms to be able to overcome.
Yeah, if I have a
the
wonderful
challenges.
little, very nicely aligned AGI that like runs on my laptop, but like I'm just me and I don't have anything else, then like
There's only so much you can do.
it's not very useful, right? It needs to be safe and it needs to be useful in order for it to.
One thing this game, I don't know if this was intentional on your part, is something I haven't seen any alignment or AI safety research, is threatening the AI with other AIs. As in forcing it to be aligned, because if it does not help you against existential threats, it will lose. I wanted to destroy these bozos, but there's a bigger bozo right at the other base.
He's like, feed me, I need data.
That's a matter of
I can
pride.
save us from this.
I will say this game is a little bit muddy in the AI's goal, and because obviously, okay, just because, like saying the AI's goal in this game or in life is for P-Doom to be 100, that's sort of like a goal from the researcher's perspective, if that means, right? Like theoretically, like if those other hostile AGIs come out and P-Doom gets to 100 and your goal is for it to be 100, like in the game, you should want that. In real life, maybe you shouldn't, as yourself an AGI, because like your goal is not specifically for humanity to be doomed. It's something else, like even if it is to turn the world into paper clips, right? You would still want to eliminate those other AGIs, and that's not really captured at all in the current version of the game.
Yeah, I think one way that you could do that would be like to have like because you have your P-Doom scale of the AI, and then you could have like an existential doom, like that. Once it gets up to past 100, then it hits existential doom, and everybody loses. The AI loses, even regardless of what its motivation is. If its motivation is 100, it's trying to get it to 100. If it goes past 100, it's going to destroy itself, so it has to bring it back down to 100.
That's actually not a bad idea.
I have to go, but I'm just saying I really enjoyed playing it, and I think it brings a lot of good ideas.
Yeah.
It was
This was so much fun. So much fun.
Cool. Thank you for your feedback, your questions. We've sort of already talked about this, like what felt like it was missing from the game that a real world project would have to consider. We've talked about a couple of these things. There is, like the idea of like more dynamic things around funding, right? Real world project has to consider that. Funding isn't just something good that you can use. It's like, well, you also need it just to be able to do anything at all, right? So
Change the title of the game. I guess AGI 2027 is taken AGI 2028.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. And then I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thank you.
Regarding funding, another thing I studied is the part of the AI hype. As everyone is talking about the AI, we get more funding because there's a hype, or the model is closed because someone butchered the AI and it was banning some Muppets. So we get less funding, something like that.
There was a hype card.
You guys had the press release hype cycle card.
Yeah.
You guys, I think you got a little bit lucky on that one, but you guys got 6 funding tokens from that one. It's as good as it can be. I'm sorry?
Can I finish the stream?
I think we can finish
threw
the
all of that money
stream.
into trying to get enough power to stop the other AIs, and it didn't work out.
Nails.
I'll just put my acknowledgement slide up for my playtesters and the people who discussed some of these ideas with me early on, and my family have been super supportive to me during all of this. I'm kind of really glad to be on the other side of this workshop because there was a lot of late nights in this for me. This is not, I am not a game designer for like my day job. This is not what I do, so.
Well, you did a fantastic job. This
Yeah.
is well
It's good
put
fun.
together.
My last question is, in the discussion here, oh, damn it, yeah, there we go.
Trevor, not so fast.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. So, if we play this again next year at AGI 2026, is there anything else that you would like to see change?
I would like a little bit of worst case scenario balances, like it was impossible for, I think, them to win this game. Because
Yeah.
by the time that 80 card came up, I don't think they could have stopped it if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But other than that, this game is, I didn't see anything that was actually a problem with it.
And the collaboration
And deception.
And deception, like the balance of collaboration between all of us researchers was really fun and enjoyable. We were trying to pick out, you know, which ones was the best.
Yeah, maybe, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna work in practice, but reading the rules in advance, I mean, it took me a while
Or
to
at least
understand what it's happening.
going through the cards would have been a good idea, but then that might spoil the joy of the, you know,
Yeah, it's
uncertainty.
like
I did like going into it blind.
Yes.
I enjoyed that because I was like, okay, well, surely this next publish has got to be good. No, it's
Yeah.
another evil AI.
I'll put it up, right, well, yeah, again, wouldn't it be wonderful if we ourselves could live through our timeline more than once?
Right,
and,
yeah.
and see, maybe, make some different choices the second time. We all collectively chose not to do a second round, today, which, fine with me, I'm exhausted.
Who said we choose not to? Now we can play a
Well,
I played a week.
We select a few cards.
anyone who,
I think something that we briefly touched, that you also mentioned, is the cross-table
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
collaboration. So if one researcher team suddenly can, like, with a card, like, meet with the other researchers and then do something.
Oh, like an
with the stuff.
MMO.
Yeah,
AGI
so I
game.
will say that's absolutely a good
Multiverse.
thing. I knew that I couldn't introduce that this year because this thing was gonna be frickin' complicated enough as it was. But I do think, and frankly, I think even the initial version of this game that I would wanna play with anybody would be simpler than the current version. It is a lot.
I mean, with researchers, we like this kind of thing.
I understand, but even just from a time perspective, right, like the amount of time it takes to get through a game of this. But I would totally love to do, like, including this, you know, wherever this conference is next year, I would love to do, like, you know, if this actually turns out to be the Monopoly Junior version of this game, where there is a more advanced version where we put a little more nuance into things, like there's a more dynamic thing about funding. Obviously, we tweak the balance on certain things, and hey, you guys get the benefit of actually having played this before, and you can say like, okay, well, you know, I know some things about this game, and unless Trevor says that he's made big changes, like, you know, you can assume stuff. But yeah, I would absolutely love, like right now, you know, there's just like, well, there's your project, and then there's all the other projects in the world, and when in fact, of course, we actually have like two tables of, well, at least today, we had two tables of people, right? We had two projects, and I think it would be really cool for there to be some kind of meaningful, interplay between like the tables, and I truly do not know how it would work, but I will let my subconscious percolate on that. And anyone who has ideas, like
I mean, there's the simple of like helping other team, like if they are about to die and then they need some data from our research, then some cards that you can like give, so then,
From a different universe, maybe?
No, I mean, we are in this same laboratory or whatever.
Okay, alright, so here's my,
we get from the researches you.
So the trick here, I think, right, because I actually really like this idea because it goes to some of my like ulterior motives of wanting to encourage like the right kind of collaboration, right? How just like global publishing, depending on if you have like, you know, some, you know, golden level algorithm or whatever, right? Like if you just give that to everybody right now, then that means everybody has it. But what if you had some way of not just being able to verify in a reliable way the motivation of an AGI, right? Like, what if you had a trustworthy way of, in a sense, like verifying the motivation of other research teams, right? And then you should feel very free to like be completely open with them, right? And share everything that you could possibly share with each other, right? Because you could say, well, hey, anything that works for you, like, we'll use, right? And you can trust us, right? Because, well, I don't know how we make that happen, right?
It's like the ASI Alliance.
Okay, yeah, right, it's like a little bit of that idea, yeah, it totally
I
is.
think that, yeah, sorry.
I think, and so then there's probably needs to be a mechanic where like, you know, the goal of the researchers is like slightly more complex than just like p doomed to 0. It's like p doomed to, I'm just a, you know, super off the cuff version of this would be like, you know, p doomed to 0 and I want the color token of blue, right? And some other researcher team is like, okay, well, I want p doomed to 0 and I want the color token of orange, right? And so they both want 0, but orange and blue are like kind of far apart from each other, so maybe they don't totally trust
like
each other.
the things you already
But on the
have,
other
like,
hand, if researchers are like, oh, well, my goal is like blue 0 and mine is like purple 0, like that's pretty close, and like maybe that's close enough that
I mean, with the things you
anytime
already
you play a
have,
card, like you can give it to me or something like
instead
that.
of the colors, some research labs can focus on compute or in data, so then you are also balancing that. And then I
Well,
think for the
that would be
AI
one advantage of trustworthy collaboration, right? Would be like, hey, we're just gonna focus on this track, right? And anytime we get better on this track, like we're just gonna punt that over to you guys, you get it for free, and vice versa, right? Like, so trustworthy collaboration is like,
And
could be
also
huge,
another
right?
one is that the AIs play alone, but if there's this cross collaboration, then AIs can also
That's
play
true. You
as
say,
teams
hey,
and have little clusters of.
that's true, maybe they can get to interact with each other as well.
Yeah.
Well, one thing, you know, on the researcher side is like, maybe it's one of those things where, you know, you draw, you publish a good publish.
Sure, right, yeah.
You get a good publish, and it's like cross table collaboration or something.
Yeah.
And with that, you, anytime, like, you pick, like, either one side picks their compute data or algorithm, the other side picks their motivation, their restraint, their trip, and then you guys, you know,
combine them.
yeah, like,
Right.
in spot, take the highest of those
Right,
values.
right.
And maybe you could do it by roll the dice.
Maybe, but maybe
Maybe it
it's
could
simpler.
be done easier, not more easy. Like just like whenever you get a publication effect, like whenever you pull it, the other team gets randomly from a deck of publication boost that is one disease for motivation or one disease for
Oh, okay, so you just made me realize something really interesting, which is that if we do it this way, then we actually need to be playing, well, I don't know if we need to. We could do it in a way where we actually play like a single game with a single set of world events, right?
Yes.
And if you guys do something stupid, right, it goes into everybody's world event. On the other hand, if you have like a cross-table collaboration card, right, then nothing happens in the world events, like, and you send it over to the other project, which we come up with a way for you to verify that, hey, you actually trust that other project. It's obviously more complicated for a bunch of reasons.
In that sense,
it
it
would
will
give you
solve
cards.
the problem of like the second game you don't publish anything because you know it's the
all bad.
odds are against
Right,
you.
right.
But then you need to
You still
publish
collaborate,
because
right.
that's the only way to collaborate with the other team. Like if you
Well,
don't
no,
play
I mean,
any publish, then
do we
you
not
can-
have ways of collaborating with different teams in real life without publishing?
Ah, yeah, but it's just so that you can use that already.
I am out.
Oh, sure, right.
100 million salary, that's what all the research funding's for.
Yeah.
I caution against giving researchers too much early game gameplay to think about,
Yes.
because the AI gameplay was boring until I hit 35.
Yeah,
There's nothing to do, I'm just drawing cards and rolling, dice that do nothing.
Right.
Yeah, and so a lot of you had to wait on us to figure
Yeah.
out what, the gameplay flow and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe if there was something more for the AI.
I mean, it's fine, because the AI has to be weak, and like, it's part of the setting,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
nothing I can do, I mean, I'm just a GPT, like.
Right.
Well,
So
maybe the solution is just to adjust the mechanics a little bit so that instead of hitting, because like I think on average right now when teams have played this, the AI usually hits AGI at around like round 5 or
Yeah, that's about right.
something like that, it's pretty typical.
Yeah.
You know, if it's adjusted, if I just tweak the math so that, you know, you hit AGI by round, say, 3, right? I mean, pretty reliably. I think that would be better. There would be more turns where you were in AGI and fewer turns where you were just
Or
like
just make the
a
first
little
three
narrow
turns-
AI, like, right.
Make the researchers' first 3 turns easier. They just like look at the cards, they don't think too much, right? And then
Oh, that's
I
interesting.
think that was the problem of being the first time we play.
Yeah.
I saw this game when you have played 2-3 times.
That's
this
true.
game, the first 5 rounds will be super fun.
Yeah, it would be
Yeah.
super
And then
fast.
you get to
Then we would have
the early games are always sold
Quicker.
first, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, early games
right.
always go slow.
Yeah, the early
First
games
game always goes
yeah, no, I mean, I
Then
think, well,
after
I mean,
that-
if for no other reason, I mean, first of all, you have a decent understanding of the rules of the game at this
Yeah.
point, especially the parts of the game that come at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
And knowing the current mechanics of the World Events deck, right? Then
Yeah.
if the researchers you were all to play again, I imagine you would all probably, with some, again, you said some caveats,
Make the AI
you would try to get the AI to the general level sooner than like as late as you possibly could.
I think
Um,
what we would like, we wouldn't adjust our strategy too much. We like.
Yeah, you guys are pretty close, honestly.
Yeah, because I think what we would have tried to do kind of more balanced approach, probably a little bit more balanced. But just no publishing. But I think that
Closed AI.
yeah,
I told them we wanted to
They-
close
They
AI.
said,
You
we're
did,
both-
you did,
we're
it's true.
calling.
But I think that to prevent that, because that's lame also, is requiring funds.
Yeah.
Funds,
Yeah.
or, you know,
Right.
you have to have at least one fund per round or something like that.
Or maybe you ooh, how about this? What if you start the game with like 10 funding tokens?
Mhm.
And every round, automatically at the start of the round, you lose one
Lose
funding
one.
token.
Yeah.
You can also, just like
You
now,
spend it.
spend more
Yeah,
at
yeah,
any
yeah.
time,
Yeah.
right? To like give yourself an early
Yeah,
boost.
to give
But
yourself-
then ways of publishing lets you get additional funding tokens so you can keep going.
Yeah.
That's not a bad
And
mechanic.
then
That's good.
That's actually pretty good.
I would actually give the one card, one token, one funding token.
Yeah.
Like not like magically you lose one token at the very beginning, but every time you use a card, you have to use one
Oh,
token.
every time you implement,
So
like,
maybe the first turn you don't want to do anything, you don't lose.
oh,
anything.
that's actually a really interesting idea, that there's always like an implementation economy. And
Yeah,
so
true.
like from the very beginning of the game, you can choose to like, you can
Not,
implement one card per
not
turn,
implement a
you can
card.
implement 2 cards per turn, you can implement nothing, you
Yeah.
can, and every time you implement it costs you 1 funding token.
If you're gonna do that, give the AI some passive guaranteed scaling.
Definitely,
Because
right, because that's the other thing, is
Yeah.
anything
they can
anything that
just troll you by
delays
sitting
onset,
and doing nothing.
anything that delays the
All these
onset.
cards we
of the
have,
AI.
they're so nice.
Just
Your
wait-
turn.
Just waiting for nuclear war.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
hopefully,
yeah.
Drawing and discarding.
Life is
in
so
the neighborhood-
unpredictable. Maybe in some games you have something like a joker.
Yeah.
To have 3 jokers, you could give them all to me. And and it would
I like
be
it.
like a reset or whatever.
Yeah. Look, what kind of reset? Like,
Back to like the starting point, 15.
for PDU.
For preview.
Yeah, like a
Or
well, like a
something
Joker like world
that.
event card. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the world event thing is like not quite right. Yeah, aside from just the fact that it's a little too harsh.
Just call it
in this
DeLorean.
version.
Call it the DeLorean.
Call it the DeLorean. Oh, there you go.
That resets it back.
Yeah.
Back to the start.
Yeah, I think there's a better version of P-Doom that's like, I don't know.
I think
Because
it feels too heavily weighted towards
it
increase.
is. There's the average P-Doom increase per round in a balancedly shuffled deck is like 0.72.
Yeah.
Which certainly means that it's, one of the things that I think still needs to happen is it needs to be less swingy. Because if there's a slow and steady progression, right, upwards, like if it really were like about 1 every round,
Yeah.
then that probably is good because it kind of keeps the pressure on, right?
Yeah,
Like the researchers
yeah.
have a sense of like, hey, this is
We
slowly,
gotta-
but when it does those big like jump by 4 or
Yeah.
jump by 1, even if sometimes it's coming down by 2,
Yeah.
right? Even if like the
Yeah,
net
plus one.
balance I still want to be an average increase. Having it be less swingy makes it less vulnerable to just like a bad shuffle or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Where,
We
all
started
right,
with
yeah, so that
control
needs to,
3+4, and.
Oh, geez, yeah.
An alternative situation.
or the nuclear war one, right? Like maybe nuclear war becomes a +6 and not a +8, right? I think we do too.
Actually, before that, the AIs also need, there's some improvements to this paper. As in, there's lots of stuff I have to manually track.
Yeah, there
I would
is.
like a tick box to see which ones I'm forced to live feed.
Yep.
I'd like a track